or anybody with a prosthetic leg. Please? Why do I even gotta say please? Because what if you kick me and it falls off? I ain't gonna pick it up. You try to kick me. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hit you with your own leg. I'll teach you a lesson.
Coming with straight truth.
And you know what? If you want to make it about race, I need you to hold your black men accountable. Don't let these black men get away with anything. Because what does that say about you? Because if you're going to be that person who's not going to hold your own people accountable, we have nothing to talk about. I'm sorry, that's a real old school mentality, my guy.
Tune in to all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows all day, every day by downloading the Truth app.
We got to get back into common courtesy.
Mm-hmm. It's about the family structure.
Right. It is.
Our extended family, we are all family in Milwaukee. Come on now.
Watch all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows by subscribing to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Associated Bank. Your money works here. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, sponsored by ProgressiveCommercial.com, where you can get a business insurance quote in as little as 6 minutes. Google is the latest tech company to come under fire for issues when it comes to AI and diversity. The search giant recently said it's pausing the image generation of people on Gemini, its powerful AI model, after it ran into issues handling race. Rachel Metz is a reporter covering AI for Bloomberg News. She says the big question will be how Google plans to fix the problem.
I don't know exactly what they were doing after people input prompts. OpenAI, for instance, with DALL-E 3, they have been really clear that they are editing the prompts that users put in, and you can actually drill down a tiny bit and see like what you type in versus what the prompt is that's used to make the resulting image, which I think is actually like a really good sort of way to approach it.
Google is under a lot of pressure to get AI right as competition ramps up. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Something amazing is happening in meteorology. Climate researchers are weathering a data storm. That's because CDW transformed their devices and infrastructure to pre-configured Lenovo ThinkPads and powerful edge-to-cloud solutions, delivering faster insights to run more accurate forecast models. So it's almost like they're controlling the weather themselves. Lenovo and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Lenovo Client.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect that of the staff and management of Good Karma Brands, but are the sole responsibility of the host and guests of this particular show.
America may have many, many days, but they will be full of trouble. There will be no rest. There will be no tranquility in this country until the nation comes to terms with our problems.
Bringing you social and political commentary from his mouth to your ears. Breaking down the issues which matter to you.
You're not put here to be a white man's footstool. You're put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Mr. Sherwin, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
From Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, man, but I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017 The Truth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Thursday, February 29th, 2024. It's the last day of Black History Month. Thank God. Oh, it's been the longest Black History Month in 4 years. Oh, all kidding aside, I hope it was an informative Black History Month. You know, we did our vignettes, of course, and our historical facts that we play for you guys here on 101.7 The Truth. And hopefully it was a month of good conversation and reflection. If I'm going to take one thing from the month, we had a really good series of discussions about the expansion of Juneteenth Day, or at least I want it expanded, because now that it is a federal holiday, the way we celebrate and commemorate June 19th, 1865 should be much larger and much grander in scale. But then it also comes into conflict with, do African Americans want to keep and harbor our culture to ourselves and celebrate amongst ourselves, or are we ready to understand that culture has no copyright? However, those discussions will likely continue. Speaking of continuing discussions, I would like to, as best I can, demystify the most recent Supreme Court decision relating Donald Trump's attempts to stop the peaceful transfer of power, all of the events on January 6, 2021. I know you guys have heard about it for 3+ years. You're probably tired of it. But the criminal activity that the president was or was not involved in is on full display. And there's a very troubling decision that the Supreme Court has handed down recently. So they haven't made a decision, but they are going to hear the election interference case as it pertains to all of the activities that led up to January 6th. Now, what the Supreme Court has done should be very troubling to all of us. So it's going to basically come down to this, and I'm not sure how we're going to make the case, but the case needs to be made. Where we are in American democracy isn't about how you feel about one candidate or the other. It is much larger than how you personally feel about either candidate. If there's one thing that I wish I could do, if I had a magic wand, I would remove the emotion and the personal feelings and sentiments out of our politics. It is business, and we have to see it as such. But because politics is not taught in a way or explained in a way in which people look at it as business, people just use their emotion. If you do not understand the details and the science of something, the political science of our politics, it's going to be about how you feel. So if you can't be objective about the facts, it's about, well, how does it make you feel? How does Joe Biden make you feel? How does Trump make you feel? And Trump capitalizes off of that because there is emotion around Donald Trump. He is capitalizing off of people that do not know how to see American politics and the execution of the federal law as business and science. He capitalizes off of a feeling, people's emotions, people's sentiments. And in my opinion, that is weak. When else have you seen people flying a flag with the name of an American president? When else have you seen in this country? You've seen it in third world countries. You've seen it in countries where you've had military dictators, where people are buying memorabilia and merchandise and hats. And like Donald Trump has a merch store. You know that's fundamentally un-American. We don't worship presidents like that. They're here for a short time, not a long time. They do some things underneath the guise of a political party with their version of how you best move this country forward and keep us competitive and keep us on top globally. That's it. But this man has gotten a hold of people's emotions, making people feel some kind of way, making poor people that have literally nothing but their faith in him think that he is one of them. You got to be careful of a salesman. We should have exercised more caution with him. But because he's able to play on people's emotions, here's the thing about Joe Biden. Joe Biden does not really appeal to Democrats' emotion. There's no love for him. Like there's no sentimental doting, affectionate love for Joe Biden. There might be some respect. You think people are going nuts at Joe Biden rallies, flying signs and banners or wearing Joe Biden merchandise? Absolutely not. And let me tell you why. As someone who is a Democrat, but someone who sees politics as business. I think that's insane to worship a president like people worship Donald Trump. Where does that get us? Explain to me, because I might be missing the mark here. How does that help childhood poverty? How does a doting and an abiding affection for Donald Trump give houses to the homeless? How does it put reparations money in a black person's pocket? You tell me how this doting and abiding affection for Donald Trump so much so you will spend your money to wear his hat, to wear his T-shirts, where you want to make America great again in his version? How does that help put more funding in public education? How does that replace the lead water pipes that are poisoning people in this country? Explain that to me. How does that reduce our reliance on foreign fossil fuels? How does that get world peace? How does that have nuclear proliferation by loving Donald Trump? It doesn't, because people have forgotten the business side of it and they're just being coaxed by their emotion. The Supreme Court and all 9 of their members, they have a strategy, and it's becoming very, very clear what that strategy is. They are allowing Donald Trump to execute his legal strategy. In most of his cases, especially the ones that are before the nation right now, it's not even to defend what he did. It's not to defend his conduct as legal and legitimate. You have to know, whenever you hear stuff about these different court cases, because it's a lot to keep track of. It's almost a full-time job trying to keep your finger on the pulse of all these things that are moving through district courts, the appellate court, what's going to be heard by the U.S. Supreme Court, what is going to be rejected and thrown down and accepting of a lower court ruling. It's a lot, and most people are not legal scholars. I am not either, but I'm trying my level best to keep up with it all. He's never trying to defend what he did as legitimate and legal. He just wants to delay. That's it. Now we have it's a rule, I suppose. It's not a law, but like an unspoken rule that exists within the U.S. Justice Department. If there is a decision that could potentially have major or even minor political implications in the country, the Justice Department will hit the pause button, because they don't want any ruling they make or any decision they make or any decision to prosecute someone to have an impact on an American election. And I actually have a lot of respect for that. James Comey violated it. So that was the first crack in the ceiling. When James Comey said, probably 2, maybe 3 weeks out from the 2016 presidential election, when he made this announcement, he gave this press conference, and we were inside that window of where the Department of Justice doesn't do anything that could even look somewhat politically motivated. There's a 60-day window prior to an election where you don't do anything. You just pause. You let the next administration come in. And if there's an investigation, you allow that investigation to proceed, right? Well, James Comey all of a sudden out of nowhere said, we found some more Hillary Clinton emails. Just wanted to let you know. Yes, we found some more. Now, hindsight being 2020 and it's all water under the bridge, but it very well may have had some kind of impact on that election. Merrick Garland, I think, is a different kind of prosecutor in that when we're inside that 60-day window, I believe the current U.S. Department of Justice will not pursue any additional action. They will let the presidential election unfold, and then we'll deal with the results, and then he will move forward. The series of delays that the Supreme Court is now granting Donald Trump potentially puts the most egregious things he is charged with inside of that 60-day window. You know what happens if Trump gets reelected? And right now, I don't know the way some of y'all are acting. I don't know how y'all are feeling. I think a lot of y'all going to stay home. You got people in Michigan voting no confidence or whatever they're doing, just messing around and doing stuff they don't need to do. Like, this is the fate of the world that is hinging upon the decisions that Americans make in November. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't trust Americans like I used to. I don't know if I trust your willingness to just take a risk on somebody new. So I'm going to get into more details of exactly where we are. There's also a poll that has come out, and whatever stock you guys put in polls depends on the poll and depends on how upset I get by its results. That's how much stock I put in it. Americans are actually becoming more and more okay with this thing called Christian nationalism. When I interviewed Marjorie Taylor Greene, she described herself on this show in front of me, you, God, and everybody else, that she is a Christian nationalist, which is kind of like a cute way to say white supremacist. So Axios does this poll. They published the results of this poll that more and more Americans are actually okay with Christian nationalism taking root in this country. Have we learned nothing from history? Oh, that's a stupid question. Clearly we haven't. All right, ladies and gentlemen, got a lot to discuss today. Of course, your phone calls and comments and text messages are always welcome. 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
1017 The Truth and Associated Bank have teamed up for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, we'll be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 Black businesses. To sign up for your business's chance to win $6,000 of commercial campaign marketing on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Justice is about receiving what we deserve. Quote Audre Lorde, who said, "There is no such thing as a single-issue struggle because we do not live single-issue lives." And that said, any freedom, including reproductive freedom, is our human right to decide what is best for our own lives. Reproductive freedom is about having bodily autonomy, which is the same as being able to control what happens to our bodies, including the decision to continue or terminate a pregnancy, rests with the pregnant person at all times and in all circumstances. Because when rights don't apply to all individuals and at all times, they are not rights. They are not rights. And as Black people, our rights are conditional way too often, whether we're talking about during police encounters, quality housing, or, some job opportunity.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute on the new 1017 The Truth.
Injured at work, unable to work due to health problems, or denied VA benefits you are entitled to? Last year, Tayback Law helped return over $41 million in wrongfully denied benefits to the people in our communities. Tayback Law celebrates Black History Month by bringing its message to the truth. Their team is thrilled to see Milwaukee achieve this award-winning outlet for speaking truth to power, and Tayback Law is always ready to fight for you. Call Tayback for the payback. Visit TaybackAttorneys.com.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The 2024 UNCF Milwaukee Mayor's Master Ball, taking place Saturday, March 2nd at the Hilton Milwaukee City Center, is one of Milwaukee's premier fundraising and social events of the year. Hosted by the Honorable Mayor Cavalier Johnson, this nonprofit gala is supported by corporations, civic leaders, and Greater Milwaukee. So get ready for an evening of celebration and support for UNCF. The annual Mass Ball is a formal black tie benefit with a seated dinner, silent auction, live entertainment, and so much more. For more information, please visit uncfmkembb.com.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back to the program. In the studio, and I'm privileged to have Pennsylvania State Rep Malcolm Kenyatta in the studio. Mr. State Rep, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm privileged to be here.
We're certainly glad to have you. I wish we could have brought you better weather, but don't worry. Come back for a couple of days in July. It might be 80 or 90 degrees.
I look forward to that.
You are here to talk about President Joe Biden's accomplishments for the African American community, and it's shocking to me that we have to have so many conversations about what this president has done, because you would think that they would be obvious and apparent. You would think with the economy being staved from recession, you would think that with the first African American woman appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court, you would think with the first black woman who is the vice president of the United States, you would think that was enough in his dedication to student loan forgiveness. You would think, but yet here we are. So from your perspective, Representative, what do you believe the African American community and voters may be missing in assessing all of the things that Joe Biden has done to keep this country moving forward?
You know, I'll say this. You know, part of the reason why, you know, I'm here, I'm on the president's National Advisory Committee for the reelection. And, you know, this president is doing something that doesn't always happen. And I know that you know this, which is recognize that black folks exist before October of the election year. You know, this campaign is doing something markedly different in terms of treating black voters with the respect of, you know, treating them like persuasion voters, as we often do to voters in the suburbs, for example. You go every election, you really try to make your case. And I think this president is trying to disrupt this narrative that you just talk to black voters when we get close to the election, expect them to show up. He has a record of success. A record that we're very proud of, and we're taking the campaign directly to folks and to your station and everywhere that we can as early as possible to talk about that success. You highlighted some of it, but let me underscore what you mentioned about student loan debt, because I think a lot of people don't dig into the weeds of some of these policies that this administration has rolled out. You know, not only have we seen the direct cancellation for so many Americans, including 153,000 just last week, complete cancellation of their debts. But because of the SAVE program, which is this program the Department of Ed rolled out after the Supreme Court ruled that he couldn't do the expansive debt relief that he wanted to do, you have 4 million Americans who have $0 monthly payment. All you got to do is go online, fill out the paperwork, and you pay $0, and yet you still have those payments counted. We went from having just a few thousand people actually get public student loan forgiveness. Talk about people who are nurses and teachers and firefighters who, after 10 years, your loans are supposed to be wiped away under the Trump administration. People weren't actually getting their loans forgiven, even though the program said they're supposed to get their loans forgiven. Now we've had over 800,000 Americans get their loans wiped away because of the president's commitment to make that program work. So on the macro and on the micro level, you have a president who's involved in the details and who's looking at every single, lever available to get things done for people.
We're speaking with Pennsylvania State Representative Malcolm Kenyatta, who is also a member of the National Campaign Advisory Board for the Biden-Harris campaign. And we are very, very glad that you're here. You know, a lot of this is going to come down to us, state representative, because they're going to blame the black folks if we don't turn out. And it's the craziest thing ever, right? Because you have all these other different constituency groups that oftentimes will vote for a Republican, are the reason why Republicans get elected. But if African Americans don't vote in a 99.99% number for the Democrat, then everything always falls on us. You are here in Milwaukee. We're glad you're here, but it's not just us. It's going to be Detroit. It's also going to be Philadelphia.
That's right.
Philly is going to be extremely important in getting Pennsylvania to be a very necessary blue state. What are you talking to folks about in Philly? Because there's a lot of parallels between our cities, including the segregation and all sorts of negative statistics that we see in our respective communities and our cities. What are some commonalities between Philly and how you're talking to people in your home district and some of the things you're saying out on the campaign trail nationwide?
Listen, I don't have a different message. For me, it's the same everywhere. The reality is, and it's a question that we have to answer. We answer it with how we vote in this next election, or whether we choose to vote. are the people who you love best in the world, do they matter? Do they matter? And if they do, and I think they should to you, then I think they are worth us getting up and voting by mail, voting in person, whatever it takes, because I think we have a crystal clear distinction here. And you've been talking about some of it. I was listening to you before I came in. You have a guy in Donald Trump who has made it clear he does not care about black families in Milwaukee. He could care less about trying to make the KRM transit line or direct line from, trying to expand opportunities for people to get to work, to get to school, to get to their doctor's appointment. He could care less about making a direct line from Milwaukee to Madison, for example. And we know the impacts that expanded transit in this region could have. That's true for Philadelphia as well. That's a real parallel, the real need for public transportation. You've seen this president and Joe Biden invest billions of dollars into expanding mass transit and all the economic opportunities that come along with that. You have a guy in Donald Trump who could care less about working families, about dealing with the persistent poverty that has made life difficult for folks here in parts of Milwaukee and North Milwaukee and also in North Philly. But in this president, Joe Biden, you have a guy who fought and is still fighting to bring back the child tax credit, which we know cut black child poverty in half. A guy who's been committed, and because of his economic agenda, we see the smallest gap between black and white wealth that we've ever seen in this nation. Unemployment for black Americans is lowest than it's ever been. And so everywhere we go, there is a real contrast here that is crystal clear. And I know I'm from Philly, and so I always get a little Pollyannish when I talk about this, but I mean it. We cannot allow democracy to die on our watch. And I start with the democracy piece because that is the foundation with which economic opportunity, the right to control your own body and make your own healthcare decisions, the right to feel and be safe in your neighborhood. None of those things are possible if we don't have the core foundation of a democracy. And that is what Donald Trump is trying to disrupt.
Pennsylvania State Representative Malcolm Kenyon, who represents the good people of the 181st District in Philadelphia County. He is also a member of the National Campaign Advisory Board for the Biden-Harris campaign. He joins us live in studio. State Rep, I want you to clear something up for us. Apparently, Joe Biden is old. Somebody keeps saying that Joe Biden is old. I'm hearing it from all sorts of people, but I really hear from young people, oh, why can't we get somebody younger? Maybe he's all out of touch. Let me tell you what's confusing for me, and maybe you can clear this up, because you're a young person too, 33 years old?
That's right. I'm young to everybody but my godkids who think I'm like 33 years so old, but they're wrong. They're wrong. I hope they're listening.
Let me tell you what, when I was 33, the world was different, but that's neither here nor there. Young voters, I can remember back to, let's say, 2016, where really, really young Americans were just enthralled by a guy named Bernie Sanders. And it's odd that Bernie's age didn't matter to some of the same folks who say Biden's age does matter. Not to mention Joe Biden and Donald Trump literally were in high school at the exact same time. So this whole thing with age, is this just a farce that was made up by the media? Because what really is confusing to me, how young Americans in 2016 really put their support behind Bernie Sanders, who is actually older than Joe Biden is. So what do we make of this Joe Biden's age thing?
Listen, I can't tell people what they should think is important or not, but this is what I can say. You do have two people who are effectively the same age, in Joe Biden and Donald Trump. But the question for me is, who cares about my generation? Who cares about my future? Who is advancing ideas that's going to make it easier for me to buy that first home, to live a life that's not stifled by student loan debt? Who's the person who cares about my ability to start or expand a family if I make that decision for myself? Who cares about the ability for us to address the persistent challenges on a variety of different fronts that black folks have been talking about forever, affordable housing, access to quality health care, dealing with the crisis of gun violence. Who cares about those things? Only one person does. And I don't even think people are making an argument that Donald Trump has a plan to address any of those things. Donald Trump has a plan to focus on himself, to focus on his family. Joe Biden has moved the needle on a number of things, but do not get me wrong. There's much more to do. And I say to people, you don't run for office because you think everything's accomplished. You run for office because you know there's a lot more to do. And I think, the president is a great family man. I've gotten to know him and his family well. I'm sure he, like you and anybody who has any type of public platform, there's so much that you give up when you decide to be of service to people. Time spent doing all the stuff that you want to do and all the things that I'm sure he wants to do even more of as a grandparent and as a father and as a husband. But this president understands what's at stake. There's only one person who has beat Donald Trump. His name is Joe Biden, and he's going to beat him again.
Representative Malcolm Kenyatta is in the studio. He represents the good people of the 181st District in Philadelphia County. Should we make anything of the most recent Michigan primary where a number of folks voted, quote unquote, uncommitted? Should we also be concerned about challenges from third party candidates, which could potentially hurt Joe Biden and or Donald Trump?
Well, let me take your third party thing first. No Labels is one of the groups that's really front and center in this. And in one breath they say they don't want to do anything to help Donald Trump. In another breath, they are continuing to take a bunch of money from huge Trump donors to field a candidate, possibly, that would do nothing to advance their stated goal of not supporting Donald Trump. In fact, it could possibly do the opposite of that. And so we'll take that. But I would say this. This next election is about whether or not we have the right to vote in free and fair future elections. It's about whether or not we have a First Amendment that resembles any type of First Amendment that we're used to, where people can make their voices heard. And I know that this president and this vice president respects everybody's vote and voice. And so when you look at the percentage of people who voted non-committed, it's not too far off from the percentage of people who voted non-committed when President Obama ran for re-election. But we also saw many more people vote. I think the president got over 600, almost 700,000 votes in the Michigan primary. President Obama, by contrast, I think in the 2012 election, maybe 180,000 people voted for the president at that time. And so you mentioned before the polls, you mentioned, what happened in Michigan. I think that we have to look at not the polls. We have to look at the results of the election. The results of the election is President Biden got over 80% of the vote in Michigan, and he has been crystal clear that folks who are rightfully frustrated about what's happening around the world and frustrated about a variety of different things. Let's be clear, people vote uncommitted for a bunch of different reasons. He hears those folks. He's not ignoring them. He's not saying, just shut up and vote. He's saying, I hear you. I know that he's doing everything he can on the frustration that people feel. And a part of the reason I'm here is to listen to people, not come with an ask, but to come with an ear and hear clearly what people are saying, what they want this administration to work on. But I do know that when it's all said and done, we're going to need anybody who cares about the future of democracy, anybody who cares about their quality of life, and anybody who has somebody in their family that they love and who they think deserves every chance and opportunity to look at this clear choice that we're going to have in November. Donald Trump is going to be the Republican nominee. Joe Biden is going to be the Democratic nominee. The question is, who cares about your family? And I think for my family, the answer is certainly Joe Biden.
Pennsylvania State Representative Malcolm Kenyatta, who was also a member of the National Campaign Advisory Board for the Biden-Harris campaign. Thank you for coming. I enjoyed the conversation.
I appreciate it, man.
You're welcome back anytime.
I can't wait. Come back with some better weather, too.
Yeah, indeed you will. You'll bring some better weather with you. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you, brother.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The moment you've been waiting for is here. Eagle Sports Range is officially open for action. It's Wisconsin's largest indoor range, offering unlimited range time in 40 lanes, which include 20 20-yard lanes and 20 50-yard lanes, and no reservations needed. Just show up and let the fun begin. With a staggering selection of 100 firearm rentals to use, every visit is a new adventure. Eagle Sports Range is also a go-to for education. Take advantage of their concealed carry classes and gun safety courses. Safety first, excitement second. Visit them out in Cudahy or online at eaglesportsrange.com. Eagle Sports Range, where education meets exhilaration.
Are you ready to elevate your natural beauty? Look no further than Elevate & Co., your premier medical aesthetic boutique practice in downtown Milwaukee. Elizabeth and her team specialize in Botox and fillers, facials, microneedling, and provide at-home medical-grade skincare. And personally, I've never felt better. Mention that Melanie Ricks sent you and you'll receive a free consultation and $25 off your first facial treatment. Visit elevateandcomke.com. That's elevateandcomke.com to schedule your appointment and discover the confidence that comes with truly elevating your natural beauty.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
Take this new year and consider changing how you tackle issues and problems. You know, a new year is an opportunity to see the world, well, actually your world, in a new way. Not in the I'm going to start a new exercise or a new job or a new way of life kind of way. It's a time to see the world in a I'm going to change the way I process my life and surroundings kind of way. Politics, religion, family, work, taxes, all that. It's all changing this year with county, city, state, federal, all these elections coming, with the separation of church and state being redefined, and with the canceling of the American mind well in hand, there's not a lot left to be grateful for except how you see the world and understand the world. So I got 3 quick suggestions. Number 1, take off the rose-colored glasses and see the world for what it is. Second, choose information from sources and a place of balance so that it's not all one way or another way or just feeds what you already understand and know. Lastly, challenge yourself this year with a new, higher level of knowledge. In 2024, remember, it's about having your perception elevated. You might know it as hope.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
So I want to get back to trying to demystify what's going on with the U.S. Supreme Court and their decision to delay hearing the Donald Trump case regarding election interference on January 6th and all of the things that went on January 6th. The fact that they're hearing the case means that there are some justices on the court that believe that Donald Trump should be immune from prosecution of committing any crimes while he is president. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. That is going to be the everlasting theme of all of these things that are happening in Donald Trump's criminal entanglements. Can a president of the United States commit crimes and be immune from prosecution while you're in office? Can any human being in the United States, we don't care who you are or what your title is, can you ever be immune from prosecution when you commit a crime, when you commit a federal crime? It seems to be a no-brainer. If you're in the United States, we don't care who you are. If you commit a crime in a nation of laws, you should be prosecuted. Full stop. We can't make any exceptions. But here's the legal argument where some justices, and I think you know which ones, are not exactly sure. They want to give U.S. presidents latitude to commit crimes while they're in office, because while they're in their active capacity as president, you should have wide latitude to do all sorts of things that could be in the interest of national security, blah, 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 whatever. Donald Trump will have potentially legal standing to remain president forever. Because if he commits additional crimes, if he gets reelected, he'll say, I can't leave the presidency because I may possibly be subject to prosecution for things that I did while I was serving as president. They are literally setting up the legal precedent for Donald Trump to be president forever. And if you think that can happen, if you think that Mitch McConnell not allowing Merrick Garland to get a fair hearing when Barack Obama still had one Supreme Court selection picked, this is what they have always been trying to do. First, they were going to get Roe. They got it. Now they want to implement this thing called the unitary executive theory. And Richard Nixon tried and failed. But that was the litmus test to see how far America could go with flirting with authoritarianism. Because other countries have done it. And we sit here and wonder, well, how could that have happened in Italy with Mussolini? How could that have happened in Russia with Stalin? How could that have happened in socialist Germany with Hitler? You're looking at it. And then when I try and communicate the gravity of where we are as a nation, the United States of America was never equipped to be the multicultural democracy that it actually should be. It just said that and promoted that because it sounds good. You ever tell somebody they look good in those jeans when they look terrible in those jeans? You really want to tell them the truth, but you can't. Saying the United States can be a wonderful melting pot and a multicultural democracy sounds good. Basically, our country looks fat in these jeans and nobody is actually telling us. We say things that feel good and that sound good because we want America to be seen as a beacon of hope and a beacon of light where people can come from all over the world and make this a wonderful place. You don't really believe that, do you? Look at what we're doing to people that are actually trying to come to this country to make it better. And I've got more faith in immigrants than I do in fellow Americans. It is just a veneer of equality and of fairness. If that was the case, we wouldn't have these wide disparities. The disparities that exist in this country are job security for me because I get to keep talking about them. We are not equipped, at least not currently, to be a multicultural democracy because of the racial and class hangups that we still have in this nation. And I don't know what it's going to take to get over them. Maybe it's more education. Maybe Americans need to travel more and see the world more and see how other countries operate. I'm not sure what it is, but we are deathly afraid that people that we have suppressed, oppressed, and repressed for so long, as their populations grow and the oppressive class shrinks, people are like, we need to end democracy because the last thing that this nation wants is a country full of minorities and people of color who will become the political ruling class. That's why they want to blow it all up. That is why democracy is on the table, because they would rather have no democracy at all, none at all, than to have those minority scoundrels assume the halls of power. Because eventually that is what's going to happen because our populations are growing. Their populations are shrinking. You can even look at the same, if you don't believe me, look at the healthcare debate. This is a service that all of you are going to need. Come hell or high water, you're going to need to go to the doctor. You're going to need to see a nurse. You're going to need medicine. You're going to need treatment. You're going to need surgery. Some of you have already had all of the above. The United States can prioritize treating its citizens with free or at least subsidized and reduced cost healthcare. There's a reason why we don't do it. There's a reason why. It's also the same reason why we have a 20% donut hole in Medicare. Because if you have universal health care, which we could take a fraction of what we spend on the military and y'all could go to the doctor for free. Your medicine would be free. Your prescription would be free. Seeing a specialist would be free. Transplants would be free. All the medical devices you need could be free because that is a commitment that a nation makes to its people. You want your people to be healthy. You want them to be happy. Why? So they can be competitive. But there's a reason why we don't do that. It's because we don't want minorities and those people that we want to oppress, suppress, and repress to get anything. So the whole country will suffer. Just so minorities don't get health care, no one gets health care. The democracy, which could work to level the playing field, especially as time goes on, a demographic shift, and people that have been oppressed, suppressed, and repressed, when they start getting in the halls of power and they look at policy making a little bit different, they say, hey, you know what? Let's fix these things. These things are antiquated systems that keep people, in different classes. This hurts people's upward mobility. Let's forgive student loan debt because it will ultimately be better for everybody. If democracy has the ability to level the playing field, then this nation doesn't want it anymore. And Donald Trump is the one to end it. If you have a conversation with a loyal Donald Trump supporter, you will understand within 5 minutes. They fear us. They fear that we are going to do the harm to them that they have sought to do to us. And I don't know what else we got to say or do to tell these folks that are afraid of us. And Donald Trump is the one that's leading these people in the dark. But I don't know what more we could do. Barack Obama didn't institute white slavery. Now, he did support a tax increase on tanning beds, which some of y'all caught that, some of y'all didn't. Like, that was racist of Barack Obama, but that was about the worst of it. And if anything, he was doing that to save people's health. Because, white people are allergic to the sun. You would think they would stay out of it. It literally kills them. Sad. But there's a feeling that if you allow minority populations, people of color, black people, to assume power, they even want to make it harder for us to vote, because if it's harder for us to vote, then the likelihood that we will vote for one another and get one another elected in office is reduced. They're doing every single thing they possibly can to prevent us from using this democracy to better our lives and to better this nation. They're literally using everything. And when they think for a moment that this multicultural democracy might actually be exactly that, white people are afraid because they know what the democracy can do, because they used it against us, didn't they? And they believe that if we get in their same politically powerful positions, we will do to them what they have done to us. We have zero interest in that. I don't know who else I got to convince, but they're ready to blow this entire experiment up because Donald Trump will not allow a multicultural democracy to persist. If anything, they're going to start shooting migrants at the border Donald Trump's first week in office. The Supreme Court, some members of this court see a version of a permanent unitary executive that has all of the power over the federal government. That is why they are deciding to even hear this case. This case has been decided in district courts already. Donald Trump committed crimes when he was president of the United States, and because he is a person in the United States, he should be prosecuted. But there's justices that say, well, not really. All they need is the precedent to say, as president, you can commit any crime you want. Now, ultimately, what's going to happen is this. As president, there are some things you can do in the name of national security because presidents kill people. They'll order dictators killed. They'll start covert wars in other countries, especially if there's an anti-American sentiment in another country. We'll go in and destroy that government and put in a more sympathetic American government. We've been doing that since the beginning of time. So presidents do have latitude to kill. In the interest of American national security, we give presidents a lot of latitude. What Donald Trump will be able to do is take the ability for presidents to break laws, allow Donald Trump to break additional laws and never face any kind of prosecution as long as he is president, as long as he committed these crimes, whatever they are, in the quote unquote interest of the American people and in the interest of national security, he'll never get prosecuted. But if he is no longer president, then he could be subject to prosecution. You know what that means? He's got to stay president forever. If he stays president forever, then all the crimes that he commit, he'll never be subject to prosecution. This is a legitimate argument that this U.S. Supreme Court is going to make, and they're going to make it in front of your face. And we're going to sit here. Let me just read some of these text messages here. Y'all over here worried about electric cars? That is the prevailing concern in our text messages here at 833-212-1017. Biden's new auto ads supporting our normal everyday cars and trucks are the determining factors if he wins or not. Huh? An electric car? Y'all are more afraid of a car that can get plugged into an outlet than authoritarian dictators that will literally reorder slavery again. Okay. Well, it looks like I got some work to do, which is fine because that's more job security for me. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The Truth app is home for all the Milwaukee Panther content you would want.
He'll dart baseline, and he will tomahawk it home with his right hand.
From conversations on the airwaves.
We're going to defend every board up the floor and every bounce and every pass. And we've got good depth, and you have to have good depth for the way we play.
To game highlights.
At the top, rises for three over Young and buries it.
Find The Roar on the Truth app, Apple, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts to keep up with Panthers hoops.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Frederick and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in Wisconsin, so there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit frederick.com/cancer.
When it comes to getting the smile of your dreams, you can't just trust anyone. So look no further than Bubon Orthodontics. Bubon Orthodontics is Wisconsin's #1 Invisalign provider and has been providing the best value for braces and Invisalign since 1993. With 15 convenient locations, you're sure to find one in your area. Schedule your free consultation today. Call or text 262-522-7447 or visit bubonortho.com. Bubon Orthodontics, a family treating families.
Whether you're an artist playing accountant, a barista trying to be a bean counter, or a student just looking to get started, the UW Credit Union app lets you be free to be you. With free credit scores, free online bill pay, and the ability to send money to friends. Because with fewer fees, you can do more of what you love. UW Credit Union, here for every you. Join today at uwcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because our home policies help protect your dreams and come with peace of mind. Save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Supreme Court ruled yesterday that Trump's D.C. criminal trial, the one concerning his attempt to steal the 2020 presidential election, must be delayed for at least another 2 months. The court already effectively delayed his trial for an additional 2.5 months in an order handed down last December. So do you see what they're doing? They're allowing Donald Trump to use his tactic that he always uses. Donald Trump never defends his behavior. His tactic is to delay. Now, if they can delay it just enough to where the trial may begin within 60 days of the presidential election, our Department of Justice will pause the prosecution because they don't want the trial to interfere with the Americans soon to go and vote to pick another president, meaning the likelihood of Donald Trump getting elected in 2024, I'm going to liken it to his chances of getting elected in 2016. And I thought it was far-fetched. I thought it was a ridiculous proposition. I thought it was interesting to watch someone who was a failed businessman and reality TV star flirt with running for president, but Hillary Clinton just seems so unbeatable that, okay, go ahead and let Donald Trump run. He'll lose. Hillary Clinton will be president. It is what it is. They knew in 2016 that Donald Trump was going to beat Hillary Clinton. I didn't know. Mitch McConnell knew. Because here's what's crazy. Merrick Garland was President Barack Obama's third Supreme Court selection. Merrick Garland, who served on the 7th Circuit in D.C., which is basically like the farm team for the U.S. Supreme Court. And so the U.S. Senate, which was Republican controlled at the time, has to vote to appoint Merrick Garland to the D.C. Circuit. So all federal judges, appellate court judges, district court judges at the federal level, all have to be approved by the Senate. Merrick Garland was so well liked by Republicans that a majority in the U.S. Senate, majority of Republicans, voted to put Merrick Garland in the D.C. Circuit, knowing that he eventually would be a Supreme Court justice, right? So it wasn't about Barack Obama picking somebody that was incredibly extreme, that would have been a crazy lefty communist liberal. Barack Obama selected somebody that was probably even more moderate than Obama wanted, but he knew that Merrick Garland had already gotten Republican votes to get on the D.C. Circuit. Do you follow me? So Merrick Garland being on the Supreme Court was a comfortable choice for Republicans. Even anti-Obama Republicans were cool with Merrick Garland. So Obama was like, look, I'm not trying to rock the boat. I'll just put somebody or nominate somebody to the Supreme Court that Republicans are already cool with. But Mitch McConnell said, no, we're not even going to give him a hearing. Think about this for a second. The justice that Hillary Clinton would have put on the Supreme Court had she been elected would have been way, way, way more liberal than Merrick Garland. The Republicans were actually safe by giving Barack Obama Merrick Garland, but they knew that Trump was going to beat Hillary Clinton, and they knew that by stopping Merrick Garland's appointment to the U.S. Supreme Court that they were going to give Trump a pick. They knew it. I think they know now that Trump may beat Joe Biden. And the way I'm listening to some of y'all talk, it's very possible. So that is why the Supreme Court is continuing to play along with Donald Trump's strategy of delay. Just like they delayed Merrick Garland. They are literally doing the same thing. It is amazing when history repeats itself from an 80-year cyclum to the next 80-year cyclum, but it's amazing to see history repeat itself in 8-year cycles. The order is a colossal victory for Trump and could potentially allow him to evade all criminal responsibility for his attempts to overthrow the 2020 election altogether. Trump's goal is to delay his trials until after Election Day. Should he prevail in the next presidential election, he can order the Justice Department to drop all federal charges against him immediately. Trump was able to secure such an order from the justices by exploiting the fact that the federal judiciary ordinarily does not allow two different courts to have jurisdiction over the same case at the same time. So, when a party to a lawsuit or a criminal proceeding appeals a trial court's decision, the trial court often loses authority over that case until the appeal is resolved. I'm going to pause there and pick it back up for hour two. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back shortly.
The award-winning 1017 The Truth is thrilled to be celebrating Black History Month with you. This month will be dedicated to highlighting Black America's rich history of being pioneers and fearless leaders, as we were and always will be the driving force behind change and equality in this country. Black History Month on 1017 The Truth is sponsored by Tayback Law, Educators Credit Union, Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin, and American Family Insurance. Bringing all the smoke to you.
I love what you're doing, and this radio station is just like what it's called. It's the truth.
Download the new 1017 The Truth app now. Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 The Truth.
3rd Street Market Hall is downtown's latest first stop, must stop destination, featuring 19 local food vendors, 2 bars, a patio, live music, and more. There's something for everyone at 3rd Street Market Hall.
Truth Nation, it is Denise Thomas.
And Telly Hughes.
From Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. And guess what?
What is that, DT?
Our Truth fans can now watch and stream us live every day, Telly.
Wait a minute, Denise. Let me make sure I got this thing right. Our amazing and incredible Truth fans can go to 1017thetruth.com, click the Watch Live link, and watch me and you do our thing live from YouTube and Twitter every morning?
Yes, Telly, that is exactly right. So now, they can watch you almost lose your black card every Friday during our Truth Telling Hits segment.
Come on now. You know I'm never losing my black card. But Truth Nation, you gotta tune into all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows, as you can not only listen live on the app, but you can also stream us live all day, every day by going to 1017thetruth.com and clicking the Watch Live link.
This monumental moment in Black history is sponsored by Tayback Law, Educators Credit Union, Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin, and American Family Insurance.
Investment Chief Executive, graduate of Cornell University and Columbia Business School, Robert Frederick Smith was born in Denver, Colorado. With degrees in chemical engineering, finance, and marketing, Robert Smith held a number of corporate positions, including positions at Goldman Sachs. Subsequently, in 2000, he founded his own company, Vista Equity Partners, and soon became one of the industry's top performers. A member of the leadership circle for the Martin Luther King Memorial, he also received honorary degrees from American University and Houston Tillotson University. Recipient of the Reginald F. Lewis Achievement Award, the Ripple of Hope Award, Humanitarian of the Year, Distinguished Alumni, well-known philanthropist. We salute Robert F. Smith.
This monumental moment in Black history is sponsored by Tayback Law, Educators Credit Union, Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin, and American Family Insurance. You are listening to the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations. 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I got to read a couple of these text messages here. Where is this one? No, here we go. LT says, the love for Donald Trump is about making yourself feel better and not helping anybody else. LT, I don't know if we can even explain it. There's an emotional connection to him. And in this nation, if there's a leader, a political leader, it could be like a pastor. If they tell us what we want to hear, if they tell us things that speak to our situations, if they tell us things that make us feel good or make us feel less bad about who we are, even if we have extreme views, if there's someone who is prominent, someone who is famous, someone who is notorious that feels the way we do or reaffirms how we feel about ourselves, we lose our common sense. I saw some of that with the pastor of Evolve Church. When a woman comes forward and talks about something that I've witnessed, a pastor manipulating vulnerable women. Like, y'all know how sinister men can be. It's crazy because women always warn each other about men. Oh, you got to watch out for men. Men are dangerous. Men are sneaky, right? Men are tricky. And y'all know that about us. But for some reason, if they use God, then all of your common sense about men goes out the window. Same thing with leaders and political figures. We know that there is something unnatural and unhealthy about people being in love with a political leader in this country. In America, we really don't like anybody, let alone one person that thinks they are king or dictator. But Donald Trump tells these people something. Like, he informs them about something. He makes them feel some kind of way about their antiquated, extreme, bigoted views. He's like, I'm right there with you. That's how I feel too. And so what they do is they eschew their common sense and they trade it for support for him. And then their consumerism follows. I don't care how many T-shirts and hats Joe Biden got for sale. I'm not going to Joe Biden hats and T-shirts.com and buying a Joe Biden hat and a T-shirt. I would be nuts. Now I'm going to vote for him. But you think I would wear his shirt or his hat? I would look like a damn fool. That's the other thing about these people. They don't care how they look. They want to display their overwhelming, doting, affectionate, almost romantic love for this man. Like, they want to take their money, which they don't have a lot of, Rich people don't buy Donald Trump memorabilia. It's only poor people. And if somebody wealthy is wearing a Donald Trump hat, it's because it's a joke or they're at a rally. Even wealthy people that do support Donald Trump, and there's a lot of business owners, corporate leaders, Fortune 500 CEOs, they love Trump. They'll even endorse him. They ain't wearing his hat. That's for poor people. Now, you want to make yourself look poor, wear a Trump hat. Well, I sure do love my President Trump. Yeah, I had the choice, buy this Trump t-shirt, this Trump bumper sticker, this Trump flag, this Trump hat, or get myself a new set of front teeth. I decided on the Trump memorabilia. What's this one say? That's why people are so emotionally invested in him. If there's no one to make these poor white trash people feel better about themselves, then who will? That's got something to do with it, but it's also the same phenomenon. How did penniless, landless white peasants fight on behalf of wealthy plantation owners so that plantation owners could maintain their right to own slaves? If America could get itself together and get its act right, and you told the story of slavery, of how it created a permanent poor white underclass in this nation, y'all would feel different about slavery, the Confederate flag, and Confederate monuments. White people were not getting hired in mass in the South because plantation owners could buy black people for all labors, meaning if I could buy a human being and they can perform all of the labors that the town needs, that my plantation needs, I'm not going to pay a white person a wage to do the same job. Do you understand that? Economically, slavery hurt white people. It probably hurt more white people. Because if there's a plantation, a large one that has 500 slaves, maybe they hire 15 overseers. Maybe they hire 50. Maybe they hire 20. 500 slaves. 15, maybe 20 overseers. If there was no slavery, then the plantation owner would have to hire 500 people, and none of them would be black. Do you understand how that works? Where there would be 500 white people employed on that plantation, planting the cotton, picking the cotton, tilling the fields, fixing the barn, fixing the big house, paving the road, shoeing the horses, fixing the windows. You know what I mean? Like doing all of those different trades. But if you own the slaves, you're not hiring and paying a wage to the white people. So you're taking money out of their pocket. So the longer slavery persisted, the more white Southerners did not have jobs. I would argue economically. Now, black people are still suffering some disparity as well from slavery. Residual bigotry, racism, old antiquated laws that are part of the institutions here of the United States. But there has been a poor underclass of white folks in the South since the 1600s. Because why would they get hired? Well, they get hired to, be slave catchers. But you're never going to have more or as many slave catchers or overseers as you actually have labor force. And the fact that there is still a class of people, now that's indoctrination, that they are still in love with their masters who had just as much influence over their poverty now as plantation owners did back then. But it's still that same cohort of very easily manipulated. It's sad because they don't know what's being done to them, because when you are poor and you are vulnerable, you'll listen to anything. Anybody that comes along and explains and articulates how you feel, you'll give them everything. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. A pseudo billionaire that sells cheap merchandise and poor people buy it to show that they support a billionaire that cares literally nothing about them. If Trump cared about them, he'd give them health care. Right? If he cared about them, that's what he would do. He doesn't care. Donald Trump is running for president to evade prosecution and to be president for the rest of his life so he can continue to grift the American people. That's it. It has nothing to do with you. And I love how people, they'll make up a fantasy about how, Trump, when he gets in, something, gas prices. When Trump gets in, we're still going to have gas-powered cars. Just listen to the fairy tales that people tell themselves. And it's not even just about their support for him. People will make up a fairy tale whenever they're in an abusive situation. but they still love me, and that's why they do these things. No, they don't know how to show their love. Like, we will take our anxiety and our fear and like morph it and change it around to something that is suitable to explain why we act like fools. It is human psychology 101. You have a cohort of Americans who basically have been abused by the system. They have been taken advantage of. They haven't been offered health care. Their jobs, if they get them, are low wage. Their schools aren't invested in. Their infrastructure is poor and breaking down. But for some reason, they are still in love with the person who won't fix any of that, but tells them how much they hate Mexicans too. It's amazing how, people are essentially dying because of lack of investment in them, lack of investment in their community, in their infrastructure. But if you hate Mexicans, that's actually okay with me. Bob, you need to stay on the topic now.
Yeah, this president, how you doing, Sherwin? This president of ours, he got a whole lot on his hands. There was one question that you tipped over it, and you didn't follow through with it when you interviewed that state representative. And, it's true about Trump, but it's one big question that I need to ask. He needs to articulate in a positive way, and it's hardly no way to interact positively, but he needs to try. Gaza. There's almost 30,000 people that died, and 70% or 60% or 70% were women and children. He just needed to articulate how, he should. You tipped on it because, there was a vote a couple of days ago. And, he didn't. It's a lot of Palestinians in this country. And it needs to be articulated. That worries me like a third party a little bit. And the people that, go for Trump, to me, they want a race riot. And it ain't happening. It's two logical reasons why you shouldn't vote for Trump. And they just want a race riot, black and white. But may I say, a lot of blacks, not all of them, not all whites, but most of them. They just want a race riot. And I believe the Democrats lean with big business and companies, because wherever you go, what do? Take money out of your check for taxes, and they do it. They use it for Ukraine. They use it for the border. You don't have no say in what they use it for, and that's to me why they lean towards corporate. Because I don't know if Biden raised these corporations' taxes or not.
We do have a say-so over where they spend our tax dollars, but Americans are so bad at budgeting, we don't understand the process. When you vote for members of Congress, U.S. senators, and members of the House of Representatives, you are voting for people based upon their spending priorities. So the taxes are taken, absolutely. So that's guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution that you will be paying an income tax. But we get to vote for the people that will spend that money. But because Americans don't really understand budgets, we don't see that when we vote for members of Congress, we are voting on people who are spending our money that they get to take constitutionally. That's basically how that works out, Bob. That's how that works.
Talk to you. I'm going to listen to you. Go ahead. I'll talk to you. Oh. I'm listening.
The other thing is Americans don't care how many people were killed in the Middle East. We've been hearing about war in the Middle East for the last 80 years. In fact, if the options were this, hey, Americans, you got two options. We end the war in the Middle East, or we continue allowing the war in the Middle East to take place with no American intervention, and we give everybody $2,000 stimulus checks. We would take the stimulus checks and turn a blind eye to what is happening in the Middle East. Americans don't care about that. Now, Palestinian Americans care about that, but they also know this. And one of my dearest friends on the planet is a Palestinian. Him and his brother. I consider them like family. They know that if Trump gets elected, it will be worse because of the overwhelming affection that Donald Trump has for Benjamin Netanyahu. If Trump gets back in office, Palestinians will be wiped out. At least Joe Biden is trying to apply some pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu. Donald Trump would be like, do whatever you want to those people. We will turn a blind eye. That is why when Trump was in office, they moved the capital of Israel to Jerusalem, which is something that no one ever should have done. Donald Trump was symbolizing to Benjamin Netanyahu, do whatever you want. You want to kill babies? Kill them. You want to bomb hospitals? Kill them. So the Palestinian Americans, they know that. The only reason why they voted uncommitted in the Michigan primary for Joe Biden is to let Joe Biden know that they are overwhelmingly concerned as Palestinian Americans, but they know that if Trump gets reelected, Palestinians are going to get wiped out completely. They're very savvy people. A lot of Palestinian Americans are more politically astute than most Americans are. So they know exactly what's going on. They're just trying to pressure Biden into doing a ceasefire, and hopefully the ceasefire holds, and hopefully Biden also gets reelected, because if Trump gets reelected, there will be no more Gaza. That will be a completely Jewish state with no interference from anybody. And dare anybody to tell Israel that they have to allow other people in, because Israel, at the end of the day, is a nuclear power. We're talking about a country the size of Chicago, Illinois, that has nuclear weapons. Makes zero sense. And that concludes the foreign policy conversation on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Bob, I hope I answered your questions.
Wow, yeah. I'm listening. I'll listen more. Yes, sir. I'll talk to you.
All right, Bob. Thank you. Y'all don't care. They don't. No, but Bob is right, though. There's an estimate of 30,000 people dead. The overwhelming majority of them Palestinians. The overwhelming majority of those Palestinians are children. That is an estimate. It's tens of thousands of people that they're just missing. They estimate it's at least 10,000 bodies unaccounted for because they're buried under rubble. So it's way more than that. But Americans don't care when other people get killed. And to address the ridiculous fallacy that people want a race riot. No, that's not how it works anymore. So in America, because we're segregated, so let's say there's a bunch of racist white people that want to shoot and get a bunch of guns and just shoot a bunch of black people. There was a period of time where they could actually do that because African Americans were either, our populations were lower and we were unarmed, right? So they could go into like Tulsa and just destroy a whole bunch of black property and kill a whole bunch of black people because we couldn't mount that much of a defense, okay? But you got to think about this now. Where black people live, it's hyper concentrated, right? So if some white folks from Waukesha want to come and kill all the black folks, they would have to come to the north side of Milwaukee where they would be so overwhelmingly outnumbered they wouldn't dare cross over into the north side of Milwaukee because the black population is so robust that they would be outnumbered if they go into the places where black people are concentrated. You see what I mean? So you can't go into the enclaves in which the overwhelming majority of black people live and think you're going to come out alive. So no, that's not ever going to happen. Because where they would have to travel to and commute to have a negative, violent impact on the black community would not be worth it for them. You know what I mean? So no, that's not. But there's other ways in which you can impact black people. What they do is they kill us when we're isolated. Like they're not trying to have large groups of African Americans. Plus they know how many guns we have. Like now we have a lot of guns. So they wouldn't dare come into black geographic enclaves and try to start any mess. But what they'll do is they'll catch us when we're jogging, won't they? Or they'll catch us when somebody says we have a phony $20 bill in a Minneapolis convenience store, won't they? Or they'll catch us when we're isolated, like at the grocery store shopping, or they'll catch us in the basement of a church when we're praying. That is what the reenactment of the Civil War actually is. You don't go into black cities and just start randomly shooting at black people because we'll shoot back. You catch us when we're isolated, when we're powerless, when we're at the grocery store, we're in the basement of a church, when we're outnumbered by police, when we're surrounded by police cars. That is more how they do it. And that's been going on pretty much nonstop, but we don't recognize that as the next act in the American Civil War. Because what do they say? Oh, no, that was a lone wolf. No, that was someone who was really, really depressed. But if it keeps happening consistently and we continue to make up excuses for people that are still committing acts of terror against black people, we won't recognize it nor internalize it as a race war. They're just much more covert. You can't send an army of white dudes from Waukesha to 27th and Burleigh. They wouldn't make it. They wouldn't make it to 25th and Burleigh. They get stomped out. But what they do is they allow us to be isolated when we're by ourselves. Frank Jude. You guys remember him? He went to a party, him and one other black guy. They had him isolated. They tried to kill him. They didn't kill him. It was just him and one other black guy. Probably 20 or 30 cops were there. Right? They tried to kill him because he was isolated. So when we are isolated, that is when they inflict terror. But they will never come to the areas in which we live and try and start a riot. If anything, they'll use policy to harm us more than they would violence. Overt violence anyway, because bad policy is violent too. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune in to Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks peels back the curtain to give fans unique access and deep storytelling unlike ever before. Subscribe and download right now to get a companion podcast to the new Amazon documentary, Giannis, A Marvelous Journey. Hear about the making of the dog and learn about how Milwaukee became home for the Adetokounmpo family. Find Behind the Bucks at bucks.com/plus or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year, 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. If you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Bikers are often blamed for causing the accident because the insurance companies simply don't want to pay. At Gruber Law Offices, we've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Trust us to fight for what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
At Blissful Infinity, they are dedicated to your beauty and well-being. Located here in Milwaukee, their skilled experts offer a warm and friendly atmosphere for your perfect look. From massages to lymphatic massages, skincare to lash extensions, and much more. Using only the best products and techniques, their experts stay updated with the latest trends. Blissful Infinity values your time and strives to make your visit enjoyable with flexible scheduling. Contact Blissful Infinity today for top quality services. Blissful Infinity, where your beauty meets perfection.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
More simply put, who do you think defends black people? Look, where's our defense? It ain't the NAACP. It ain't the Urban League, the national one, or any of the local chapters. They got a bunch of local chapters. Think about it for a second. What is defending black people? What is defending our right to exist? Like Israel, they always say we We have a right to exist. And they can defend their right to exist with what? A military. We ain't got no military. What defends black people? I want a real answer to this, because y'all seem to think that we have some kind of protections in this country to where we can be the aggressors in a race war. I really hope we don't get that bright idea. We would get destroyed. All they got to do is cut off insulin in the black community. 10% of us would be dead in 10 days. What is the defender of black people? And once you have the answer to that question, it'll put modern America in a very easy to understand context. Think about what is defending us. And there is something. It may not look like it because we haven't fully bought into this thing that exists. That is our number one defense. It is our offense. It is our defense. Our progress flows through it. How high we can go, how high we can ascend exists within this thing. We actually do have a defense. The problem is not enough of us believe it. And other people know that this thing is our defense, and there's two sides to that coin. So the people that know this thing that is our defense, that can help us, that can make us very powerful, that can make us very strong. There's some people like, hey, I want to participate in this thing that helps strengthen the black resolve. I want to participate in this thing that is the defense and the offense for black people. And there's even white people that say that. And then there's people that say, we know that this thing, this paradigm that exists, this ethos that exists in America is the offense and the defense for black people. Let's destroy it. It is the democracy itself. That is our defense. The civil rights legislation that recognizes us as human beings, that gives us the right to vote, that gives us open and fair housing, that outlaws discrimination, that is our defense. The democracy itself, the passing of laws and electing executives that execute those laws that are on the books that protect us. And the courts, if we are aggrieved, if we have a grievance, we get to go to court. That's why you don't argue with the police officer. Let the cop do what the cop is going to do. They want to give you a ticket. Don't argue. Those people that don't understand the democracy want to argue with the cop and fight the cop. Those that understand the democracy as our defense lets the cops say whatever the cops want. Let the cops say and be all these disrespectful things because you get to go to court, because the courts are assigned by the democracy to protect the people against police officers that overstep their bounds. You understand that? But we as black folks don't thoroughly understand how this democracy is our defense mechanism. So when we don't participate in it, we are weakening the only defense that we have. The democracy is the only thing that gave an African-American man the nuclear codes of this nation. Obama couldn't have been that powerful no other way, because here's the thing. You got black CEOs that are very, very wealthy, but they don't have power to make policy, do they? They can give a bunch of money to nonprofits. They can do that kind of stuff, but they don't have power. Only the democracy is black people's defense and our offense. Now, some of you would say when Barack Obama was president, he didn't do enough. He did more than you think. He just did it in a way that was covert, as not to send up alarm bells for those folks that know and understand that Barack Obama was the offense and the defense for black people because he got elected. Healthcare. That is how he allowed black folks to go on offense. You understand that y'all are dying by unnecessary stuff? I got an article here. I used to think that the number one killer of black people was table salt. It's not the police. It's not murder and homicide. No, it's just the complications from just having high blood pressure, renal failure, strokes, heart attacks, cardiovascular disease. There's actually something that is a bigger killer, because the health complications of this thing is even worse than table salt. You know what it is? Sugar leads to the same negative health outcomes times 3 than salt does. Now you combine the two and you have a reason why black mortality is what it is. But then when you look at what the Affordable Care Act did, it was for us. We black people were the most uninsured human beings in this country. The reason why universal health care, because other presidents have wanted it. Members of Congress, The House and the Senate have stopped presidents from implementing universal health care because they didn't want black people to get it. Because they know that if they do nothing, if they don't go out and lynch us, and if they don't kill us, our poor health outcomes would diminish our population. So they said, wait a minute, we can't have universal health care because then black people may live long enough to actually be powerful in our democracy. So nobody gets universal health care. But because white supremacy exists, the chances that a white person will get the job that offers the benefits is higher. We don't need to offer universal health care because white people, if they work hard enough and they apply their white privilege, they'll get a job and they'll get health care. But we're not going to offer it to everybody else. Obama was like, nope. We're going to give health care to black people so they can finally go on offense, because if you are sick or in the hospital or in debt because you're sick and in the hospital, you are no good to your community. You are dead weight, literally. And so when I look at our sugar consumption, like our sugar consumption is like double digits higher than Caucasian people, and it kills us. You wonder why I complain about all these black businesses selling cakes and pies and having a sweet shop and a candy shop. So even when we go into business, the products that we are producing are actually helping to kill us. It's something else, I'll tell you what. But no, the democracy is our defense. It is the only way somebody with a name, Barack Hussein Obama, his name should have disqualified him from being president. But it was only through the democracy that black people can get any kind of offense, defense, or any semblance of power. The reason why it doesn't work all the time and universally is because our participation in it is spotty. We are the biggest threat when we vote. And so when we don't vote, that's just the same as us not going to the doctor, not getting health insurance, and eating sugar. That's why they're trying to do so much to make it more difficult for us to vote, closing our polling locations, scrubbing the voter rolls, requiring voter ID. You shouldn't have to prove yourself to the people that you want to elect. They are the ones that need to prove who they are to us. But there's all these little things that they are doing because they're trying to erode the democracy. And they used to do it covertly. Now Donald Trump is coming in saying, yeah, elect me and we're going to end it all together. That will be our only defense. The democracy is our only defense, and he is threatening to upend it. But for some reason, we worried about Joe Biden and electric cars. So let's let me take a break and come back and talk to Derek. Derek, you hang on and get your thoughts in order, Derek. We'll talk to you after the break. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 1017 The Truth.
What was the life change? You know, we all know it happened and we know things happen and you have bad kidneys, but what was the life change afterwards?
A couple things. Before they even allow you to get on the list, they make you go through a battery of tests. And, you know, a lot of people don't qualify because they're overweight or they have high blood pressure or high cholesterol. So all those things are requirements before you can even get approved to be on the list. So I had...
Wait, you got to be approved to be on the list?
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's interesting. There's a professional athlete or former professional athlete I know right now that has kidney disease and he's on dialysis and he wants to get on the list and he's not accepting all the things you have to do, you know, to get on the list. But yeah, so for me, I spent 30 years in the automobile industry. You know, that's 12, 14-hour days, eating whatever somebody brings you to eat, whatever you run out and grab, McDonald's, whatever. It was never salads and, you know.
Yeah, but that was a choice, right?
It was a choice. Yeah. But I had to change all of that to even qualify to be on the list. I had to get down to the weight I had to be at. I had to get my phosphorus under control, my potassium under control.
Wait a minute, even though somebody said they would give you a kidney,
absolutely,
you had to still make yourself eligible?
Absolutely.
Nah, that's okay.
When I mentioned the athlete, his relative actually died, and they wanted to take his organs, and they couldn't because he wasn't qualified. He wasn't on the list. Wow. Yeah, you have to be.
So there are over 100,000 people on that waiting list. So they are very serious.
And how many donors do we have?
And that's the problem. We don't have nearly enough donors.
Wow.
And that's why it's such a critical need. But they are serious about who they're giving that gift of life to because there are so many people who are literally dying waiting for it.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit Versity.org today.
Business owners, it's time to elevate your banking experience with Associated Bank. Whether you're a small startup or a large enterprise, they've got you covered with 3 business checking accounts to meet your needs. With Associated Bank, you get top-notch customer service, a team of local business experts, and the exciting features you need to give your business a boost. For a limited time, open a new account today and earn up to a $750 bonus. Just deposit and maintain the required balance and watch your bonus grow. It's that simple. Visit associatedbank.com/business checking. Member FDIC.
All insurance companies, they want to know where are your cars housed. Right. They want to know how far you're driving to get to and from work every day. They want to know all these different things for weather patterns. Are you living in northern Wisconsin or are you living down in Tornado Alley somewhere in Kentucky? These things make a difference as to how your insurance rates are formed. It needs you to be factual, and every single time somebody commits these different frauds, it all adds up and everybody ends up paying the price for it down the road.
Erie Insurance, providing the protection you need and the service you expect, all at a great price.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Let me try and catch up to some of these text messages. Y'all must have drank your Folgers this morning because y'all's thumbs is caffeinated. All right. Millicent, what happens to the counterculture if Trump is reelected? Depends on which one, Millicent. Ours will get recriminalized. Theirs will become normalized. Draco Vaughn says, please talk about Biden staying committed to gasoline engines and hybrids and his turn from the stupid green new con. Draco, just don't get an electric car, dude. It's literally that simple. Nobody's going to make you, like, no one's also going to make you eat healthy either, right? Like, they're going to suggest it. It's going to be offered to you, but just buy a gasoline-powered car. That's all you got to do. Draco says Trump is the nut, is the AI nut. Expose that aspect. Trump will be the electric car nut, not Biden. This is all from the same person. Biden's new auto ads supporting our normal everyday cars and trucks are the determining factor if he wins or not. Israel says, Dr. Oz beef. Millicent says, if the Supreme Court says presidents can, then Joe Biden gets to stay president. Joe Biden is not running for president to evade prosecution. Joe Biden does not want to stay president forever. I assure you of that. Let's see what else we got here. Millicent says, I know, but if they say a president can do whatever, well, that's Joe. This will backfire. Millicent, where has Joe Biden expressed any interest in wanting to stay for more than 2 terms? Number one. Number two, what crime has Joe Biden committed? Like, where is Joe Biden being prosecuted? If anything, the Republicans are doubling down on this whole Hunter Biden thing. You got to wonder why that is. How does prosecuting or going after Hunter Biden for anything, the president's junkie son, which is crazy because a bunch of y'all got junkies in your family if you're not addicted yourself. It makes no sense. President Biden's son is a junkie. He's had a traumatic childhood. His brother Bo died of cancer. The boy likes dope. A lot of y'all do too. The reason why the Republicans are doubling down on Hunter Biden is because Republicans don't make policy anymore. They don't make laws that move the country forward. They don't do any of that. So they got to focus on tabloid stuff. Let's go after the president's junkie son. Yeah, let's distract people. They're like, their lives are getting worse. Their lives are more miserable. If y'all complain about inflation, Republicans ain't doing nothing about that either now. But I think we have resigned to the fact that the Republicans are not here to make policy. They're not here to offer their ideas, to have an exchange of ideas with Democrats to come up with good policies that actually help the American people. They're only here to oppose the Democratic Party. That's it. People should be more infuriated about that than anything else. And we just fall for it. Dion says, I'm not talking about a race war. I'm stating civil war. Well, we don't want a civil war because we lose. We don't produce anything. War is about production, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why we won World War II, really twofold. The United States is incredibly difficult to attack because of the oceans that protect our east and western borders. That helps, the Pacific and the Atlantic. The closest they ever got, other than September 11th, which we'll discuss that another time, was Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor was 3,000 miles off of the coast of California. No one gets close to attacking the United States. But the reason why we were able to win World War II is because of production. Think about all the industry that we had in the United States in the 1940s. We were making everything: stoves, toasters, cars, trucks, anything anybody in the world needed for industry, we made it here. Why do you think black folks moved from the South to the North? Because of all of the production and the industry and the industrial jobs. That's why some of y'all still have this love affair with the olden days of Milwaukee when we used to manufacture stuff back when the black family was intact because black men had jobs working in the factories. Remember that? We were able to outproduce the rest of the world. So all of the companies that we had making cars and making refrigerators and toasters, any kind of equipment that anybody needed to have any kind of a decent life, Americans made, okay? We then stopped production of those consumer goods and turned car factories into tank factories. And where we were producing heavy industrial equipment, we were making airplanes, we were making bombs, and we were making bullets. We had so much like industrial infrastructure that we were able to outproduce the rest of the world. So as we bombed Europe, Europe couldn't rebuild itself, but the United States could continue to crank out Sherman tanks and P-51 Mustang planes and bombs and more bombs and explosives and more bombs and cluster bombs and more bullets and more guns and more guns and more bullets, because all of the infrastructure that we have to produce was turned into a war machine. Remember the pandemic? Of course you do. You had to wear a mask and you didn't like it. Remember when Ford said, hey, we'll step up and make ventilators? If your nation has a core of manufacturing, then you can produce, and production is how you win war. Black folks can't be in a civil war. We literally make nothing. We make TikToks. Can't win a war with a TikTok. What we gonna do? Podcast our enemies to death? We don't produce anything, so I just want to like get that out of y'all's minds, even though it's very far-fetched. Oh, we're going to start a civil war. We would get crushed. You know who we would be? The Washington Generals. And the people that would enact war against black people would be the Harlem Globetrotters. We'd be over here double dribbling and bouncing the ball off of our foot. Sweet Georgia Brown be playing in the background. We are not equipped for war. We are only good for killing one another. That's a war we can win when we kill each other. Let's talk to Derek. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing well, Sherwin. I just want to say that I agree with so many things that you say, but I'll mention, but I think I said that to you before when I mentioned you talked about a civil war, blacks and whites. But I remember I told you that they had the Colfax, Louisiana one. That's where blacks were. This happened in 1871 or 1872, right after the Civil War. And what happened there is the blacks, they felt the whites felt the blacks were getting uppity. Anyway, they wound up getting to, they were shooting guns at each other. Both sides ran out of bullets. The whites ran back to the arsenal, got some, the militia and got some bullets, came back there and they massacred, I think, 150 or 300 blacks.
Okay.
And somebody was telling me about when they talk about gun control, yes. A white guy told me about 30 years ago, the only reason why they even had gun control in this country, because once slavery ended, the whites were trying to keep the blacks from getting guns, so they decided to come up with gun control. That's what he was telling me. It makes sense to me.
I don't even know where there is any gun control, where there was any then, or where there's gun control now.
No, well, they were trying to. He said the first time they even mentioned it was that right after the Civil War, because they were trying to keep guns out of black people's hands.
Well, they do that by saying if you're a felon, you can't own a firearm, and then what you do is you just create more criminal
we're
codes.
talking about it right after the Civil War.
Correct, but that's what gun control to keep guns out of the hands of black people is you
right
make it a felony, right? Give somebody a felony, then you can't have a gun.
No, but I'm just talking about then. He said the first time that gun control was even mentioned was right after the Civil War, because whites had all the guns. And of course, the blacks didn't have any guns, and then they brought it up. They want to get gun control because they figured they didn't want to have a situation like the blacks were had guns, and I think the most terrifying thing for a lot of whites during that time period, I think that took Lincoln some time to was iron the blacks because they said, well, these black people have guns. Who knows what they're going to do?
Kill each other.
And I mean, it had to be a scary thought.
We got more
It had to
guns
be a
now than we
scary
ever
thought,
did
dang
then,
it.
and white people are of no threat. Like, they're not threatened by us one bit. We got way more guns
No,
now.
they have they have guns. They have and also we are. The thing about us is that a lot of us, some of the cities, they live in isolated areas where where all the black people do. With the the blacks live in north side of Milwaukee. Most of the black people in Chicago live in the south side or the west side of Chicago. If you're in L.A., most of the black people live in south central L.A. And so where all the black people are. So if something did break down like that, all you have to do is just go in there with your armies and your tanks, and you could wipe them out that way. Whereas white people, they're spread throughout the whole country. Some of them live in the cities, some live in the rural areas, and it would be much harder for them to be wiped out. Just my thinking.
All right.
I think Muhammad Ali was saying that they were talking about a race war then when he was in the 1980s. He said all you have to do is come in there, and all you have to do is just block off certain streets, and like you said, is you could basically starve blacks to death, because then you wouldn't be delivering food, you wouldn't be delivering medications, and also that's what Muhammad Ali was saying. But the whites, like I said, they're all over the place. They're like I said, they're in the rural areas, the country areas, they're in the city areas, they're in the suburban areas. They're all over. So it'll be a lot harder for them to kill. We're just so isolated in a lot of those cities I just mentioned.
Okay.
But you're right about, and you mentioned right about democracy. That's one good thing that it has. I mean, I would think of Reconstruction. That was one where a lot of white people were they could not accept black people. This being being in the same spot, or being as here's this person who had been a slave, and there he is telling you to what you can do, what you can't do. And actually, a lot of times, the black people after the Civil War, my understanding, a lot of them started the public schools in that after the Civil War, and they're the ones who started a lot of the things that they felt they needed, kind of like Obama did the health care.
All right, Derek, can we kind of summarize a little bit? I'm not really sure where we're going here. We're just kind of on a ride. It's a nice ride. Don't get me wrong, but let's kind of sum it up. Let's wrap it up with a bow.
Well, my point to you is that they did try to. I keep on hearing people. I think they had eyes on the prize, and I think tonight they're going to have here the Black Panther thing. And you remember them? They had guns and everything else like that. You know how they got wiped out.
Okay, all right.
I mean, they were. I mean, the U.S. government went out. They were relentless with those guys.
That's correct.
Mean, they were.
Let's put a bow on it.
They were.
We're gonna wrap it up. Here we go. Here's where we start tying the bow to wrap up our comments. All right, here we go.
Yeah, but I was just saying, I agree with you so many times about the democracy.
Thank you.
And as far as that's because when you have democracy, the thing that kept things from being worse for black people after the Civil War was democracy. The black people had the right remaining. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was really good, Sherwin.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, I appreciate your comments. Hope you appreciate mine.
I do. Just try to guide the conversation in a direction, and we talked about Muhammad Ali and the Black Panthers.
That's what I was getting to. Okay. That's what I was getting to. Was the democracy when you were talking about democracy.
Yep, you agreed that's our defense. And we could have left it there. Could have left it.
Yeah, but I was just saying that. I appreciate you allowing me to come on the radio.
Thank you. Thanks,
and allow me to share my opinions.
All right, you got a lot of opinions, and you share all of them at once. I appreciate you very much, Derek. All right, then. Now
I appreciate you.
Oh, no, I appreciate you more. No, I love you more.
Thank you, Sherwin.
All right, then, Derek.
Take care.
All right. Okay. You know what I mean? I'm so nice. I just try to allow him to arrive somewhere, and it's like he approaches the runway, and he's like, no, I'm going to go back up to 10,000 feet. And he circles back around, and he sees the runway, and he's making his descent down there. No, I'm going to talk about the Black Panthers. And then he goes, and he taxis, and he goes back around, and then he goes, and then, he's got the landing gear down. He's going to get very close, and he's going, no, I got to talk about Reconstruction. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth's Business Spotlight this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. The Milwaukee Auto Show is here, and we will be joined by Jim Token, the president of the Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee. Jim will talk about all the new electric vehicles they will have on display and the unique experiences you can have at the auto show. So again, tune into the Business Spotlight with the Milwaukee Auto Show this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year, 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Imagine, if you will, a wonderland of vehicles. An entire convention center filled with things you love to drive. It's the Milwaukee Auto Show at the Baird Center downtown, February 24th through March 3rd. Immerse yourself in the latest new cars and trucks. Fun things to do every day. This year, come try your hand at the Golf Simulator. It'll tell you how to improve your game. Play a round of mini golf with the kids on tricky trails. Or put on a VR headset and paint a car. See website for dates and times of all features. The Milwaukee Auto Show. Save big on tickets. Go to autoshowmilwaukee.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because our home policies help protect your dreams and come with peace of mind. Save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I think that there are things that are happening under the surface that when you talk about them, they seem kind of far-fetched. So you know that we subsidize farmers? You guys know that. Farmers produce a lot of corn. They produce too much corn. They need to stop growing corn. But they can't stop growing corn because that's the only thing that they know how to grow. And so the government's like, okay, sell your corn on the market. And so we buy cans of corn, buy corn on the cob, You get a corn on the cob when you go to the fair. But we don't really eat that much corn. I said, okay, well, grow it as animal feed. Okay, fine, we'll feed it to the animal. We still have a whole bunch of corn. Well, let's make ethanol out of it and put it in the gas. But no, it might ruin car engines. Yeah, so what? Because then people have to get their cars repaired, and that's more money in the economy. So turn it into fuel. Okay, we'll turn it into fuel. And they're still growing corn and more corn and more corn and more corn. So let's turn it into sugar. High fructose corn syrup. But we already have natural sugar, and actually natural sugar like cane sugar and agave sugar, it's way healthier. It's why when people ate unhealthy in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, you look at pictures of people in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, and they ate like crap. Everybody was thin. Why is there so much obesity? Now, why is there so much type 2 diabetes? And why is it so incredibly prevalent in the black community? I come to find out that as African descended people, we naturally have a body chemistry that gives us a cardioprotective lipid profile. Now, I'm not getting into the details of it, but naturally, how we are as black people, so it's not just the melanin that offers us protection. Within our actual genetic makeup, we have this cardioprotective lipid profile. Our bodies actually resist fats and cholesterol unless you do one thing. And this one thing that you introduce into the African American diet, it has a more profound effect on us than it does the European, because they have a different body chemistry as it relates to cardioprotective lipid profiles. You know how you destroy a cardioprotective lipid profile in someone descended from Africa? High fructose corn syrup. You will increase the prevalence of obesity, all the other associated health risks, and you will increase the prevalence of type 2 diabetes, which you see overwhelmingly African Americans having the monopoly on. All you have to do is turn corn into sugar and introduce it in the diet, and it will naturally erode protections that we have as black people. African Americans consume significantly more sugar and high fructose corn syrup than whites, and it is estimated that 1 in 6 African Americans are consuming more than 25% of their daily calories from added sugars compared to 1 in 11 white Americans. Gotcha. We will kill you with your food. In fact, you want to start a black business? Make pies. Make cakes. Make sweets. You will then turn your entrepreneurial endeavor into mechanized death for black people. It's amazing how it works. But because somebody, I think Dion might have brought up something about Civil War and like, oh, the Haitians beat the French. Whenever a nation invades another nation, you're at a huge disadvantage, right? That's why the Native Americans were scalping a bunch of white men. Because when you invade someone's home country, you're at a major disadvantage unless you can perfect technology. It's why we lost Vietnam. We invaded somebody else's country. Right? That's par for the course. Invaders sometimes are at a tremendous disadvantage. So no, we don't want a civil war. Take a break, come back, continue the conversation for hour 3. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back shortly.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call, That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call, That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call, That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Milwaukee's favorite station.
Please, Lisa, please, for the love of Jehovah, don't kick me or anybody with a prosthetic leg. Please. Why do I even gotta say please? Because what if you kick me and it falls off? I ain't gonna pick it up. You try to kick me. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hit you with your own leg. I'll teach you a lesson.
Coming with straight truth.
And you know what? If you want to make it about race, I need you to hold your black men accountable. Don't let these black men get away with anything. Because what does that say about you? Because if you're going to be that person who's not going to hold your own people accountable, we have nothing to talk about. I'm sorry, that's a real old school mentality, my guy.
Tune in to all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows all day, every day by downloading the Truth app.
We got to get back into common courtesy.
It's about the family structure.
Right. It is.
Our extended family, we are all family in Milwaukee. Come on now.
Watch all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows by subscribing to 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other, leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
We are the home of Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but remember the outage of AT&T serviced phones and how kind of unexplained it was, and it didn't impact other service providers. I think it was largely, or no, it was solely Android phones. Remember, it was people were having a fit, the phones weren't working. I saw some, early morning postings on social media. Hey, you guys having problems with your Android phones? I have AT&T service, and a bunch of people were commenting on that. So that was a hacking, 100%. They're not going to tell you that. I assure you it is. So make note of that. That was an experiment. How can we cut off Americans' communication? What happens? What's the panic look like? We're not going to do it widespread. Let's just try it. Let's see what happens. Let's see how Americans are interrupted when they cannot, for a period of time. We'll make it look like an incident. Just like something, we can't really explain. Everything when it comes to technology can be very easily explained. They knew that they were hacked. So keep that in mind. Are you guys familiar with an app? It's an online shopping retail outlet called Temu. You ever heard of it? I believe it is. I don't know where it compares to Amazon, but it's up there. Probably I think it's more downloaded than Amazon. Temu is now facing a series of class action lawsuits. If you have the Temu app, let alone if you purchased anything from that website, it is a Chinese company. So is TikTok. TikTok has so much data on you that they will basically read your mind and feed you via the algorithm all of the things that you want to see. And the more you use it, the more sophisticated it gets. And for the purposes of entertainment, TikTok is fantastic, isn't it? It shows you all the stuff that you want to see. Sometimes it even knows what you're thinking, doesn't it? Temu, that Chinese retailer, and it's so cheap. All you have to do to Americans is offer us something for cheap. Oh, this lady got 37-piece makeup kit for $8 or something. It's cheap. So Temu, I think I'm saying it wrong, Temu, whatever it is. You know what it is because y'all have it downloaded. When I say that they have all of your information, they have everything. They know your political affiliation. They have your photos. They have your text messages. And when you download the Temu app to save money on a new sweatsuit or some earrings, you are surrendering everything in your phone. They know everything about you. Temu goes even further than Facebook. Temu goes even further than Amazon. There is no app that is more intrusive into your personal information than Temu. Again, it's a Chinese company. Another Chinese company is TikTok. If you combine the data, you know all of the details of every single American. So now when you have these demographic profiles of just about like hundreds of millions of Americans, and then you start playing with our ability to communicate when you have a hack. I'm not saying that the Chinese even did the hacking of the AT&T service phones last week. The American government may have been testing that just to see what happens, because that is what World War III will actually look like. They will cut off our communications. If you cut off Americans' communications, if we can't contact people, and if we can't get on the internet, if we can't send an email, and if our phones don't work, ultimately we will turn on one another. That's all you have to do. You don't have to drop any bombs. You don't got to send over a militia, because America is extremely hard to attack. But where we are the most vulnerable is our electric infrastructure, our grid, and our reliance on technology. If you cut off, you got to understand something else. If America goes offline, prescription information will not get transferred to the pharmacy. Voter and election information will not get transferred to central count. Your cars won't work. There will be no more GPS. Satellites will go offline. We effectively will stop. We will be completely isolated. Now, for the folks that can live off the grid, they've been waiting for this. All the doomsday preppers, they're ready. But for the rest of us, we literally will just die. We don't have enough stockpiled. How much food and access to clean water do you have for a year? Can you survive a year? Nope. You probably can't even make it the rest of the weekend with what you got in your house. Donald Trump is seeking to isolate the United States away from the rest of the world by withdrawing from NATO. That's the first thing. Withdrawing from climate accords. It pulls the United States off of the world stage and we become an isolated country. You know who else is isolated? North Korea. You know who else is isolated? Russia. Who does Donald Trump emulate? If the Chinese have American data, because all they have to do is come up, because China, here's the thing about China, they produce stuff. Do you remember the opening ceremonies? Probably not, but the opening ceremonies of the Olympics in the year 2008 in Beijing. Remember that? I'd never in my life seen a spectacle like that, where they exercise this incredible amount of precision and control over it was like thousands of people, of Chinese people in these opening ceremonies, and it was perfectly choreographed. China was showing to the rest of the world, we have control of our people and we can make them do anything. We produce. We have a workforce of probably 400 million, 500 million people. That same workforce that was on display, the industrious nature of the opening ceremonies of 2008 was a warning to the world. We are on our way to becoming an industrial superpower with all of the status you ever could imagine. And we're going to own the American wallet and all of their data with their consumerism, the intoxication that we get from buying stuff. When I say that Temu is getting sued, we have never seen anything like this in the history of humankind. They say they even know your political affiliation. This is our downfall, our incessant reliance on the internet and on social media. You see how it can impact an election. I just had to provide some information to some people this morning. So they posted, it was supposed to be like an original slave auction flyer, and it was fake. Like the type that was in was modern type. The terminology and the words they used weren't from the year 1848. We got all these people. Oh my God, I can't believe this. And this is what they did to us. I'm like, y'all are reading a fake slave auction announcement. It's fake. And even the date they had was like, oh, Tuesday, August 12th, 1848. August 12th, 1848 wasn't even a Tuesday. It was a damn Wednesday. But every now and again, you'll see these ridiculous memes to see if people actually fall for it. It means that when information is put out on the internet, we believe it. We are still, even after all the things and all the Russian interference in the 2016 election, we are still falling for it. Americans do not know how incredibly vulnerable we are to misinformation, to having our information stolen, to having these algorithms literally predict our behavior. And then they're going to experiment with turning off all of our technology. If our technology goes down, 1017 The Truth goes offline. I think we might still be able to use our AM signal. But if Donald Trump is able to band together with other isolated nations and other dictators, you will have a triad, a triumvirate, an axis of evil that will be similar to what we would have seen during World War II. Let's talk to Donna. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay, what I was calling about, what made me call when you mentioned something with Temu, I don't have that Temu app, one, because I don't like to download too many things on my cell phone. But what I had did was I had came across an ad. It was on Facebook, and the name of the shop was Marisha Shop.
Okay.
And I ordered, let me turn my radio down. I'm so sorry. I got it on speakerphone. But what I did was I ordered this big shelf. It was too good to be true. I should have really known better. I'm old enough to know better. But at any rate, the shelf was like $20-something. And with the shipping and tax and all that, it came to like about $29. I'm more pissed off not only because I lost the money, but I never received the shelf. But that's what I'm really pissed off about. But I further looked into it because I kept emailing them, and they sent me a tracking number, but it wasn't like numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It was like symbols or something. It didn't make no sense, and I emailed them again. They said it's on its way. I ordered this on February 6th, but at any rate, speaking ahead to the story, I finally had Googled this shop, and they said that it was an online scam shop. I did contact Facebook about it. I haven't heard anything from them yet, but that's if I do. But I would tell any listener, don't order if this shop is called Marisha Shop. And it's supposed to have been this heavy-duty shelf, 6 shelves that I wanted to put in my garage, and I still haven't got it. And what I did was I canceled my credit card. They sent me another credit card, but I never got the shelf.
Next time, just go to Lowe's.
Yeah, you're right, or Menards.
Yeah, just go buy. Just go buy the shelf. That's all you gotta do, and pay cash. Right. Go get you some cash out of the bank and go buy you a shelf. All right, look, I'll get one of these jack legs in the neighborhood. He'll come build you a shelf.
Okay. For real?
No, I'm not going to. Look at you're still falling for it. Yeah, I'll be there about 3 o'clock. Have $500 in cash in an envelope.
I'm trying to find a new handyman. That's what I'm trying to do. I want to look out for a handyman.
All right, look, yeah. I could put an announcement out there. You looking for a cleanup man? I find you a cleanup man now.
I want a handyman, to repair like minor things. I want some shutters put up. I need some shutters put up.
He'll put your shutters up. He'll take them down too. Whatever you need, he'll do it. We'll get you a pickup man.
I want the shutters. He's funny. Okay, that's all I was calling about.
Okay.
Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, you too.
Thank you very much.
All right,
okay, bye-bye.
Donna said, I need me a pickup man. From CBS Chicago, customers seek great deals from online discount retailer Temu. However, a class action lawsuit claims Temu is getting a lot more in return, with shoppers often unaware of the company's data collection / sharing policies and activities. The complaint was filed in Illinois in November by the Hagens-Berman law firm on behalf of 7 named plaintiffs from Illinois, California, Massachusetts, and Virginia, as well as unnamed others similarly situated. The lawsuit alleges Temu violates its customer privacy rights by collecting private data and using, quote, deceptive and unscrupulous practices to access that data. Plaintiffs' lawyers in the lawsuit claim experts, including their independent expert, have reviewed the Temu app and found the app is, quote, purposefully and intentionally loaded with tools to execute virulent and dangerous malware and spyware activities on user devices, and concluded Temu misled people about how it uses their data. We believe that this is intentional, said Jeannie Evans, one of the plaintiff's attorneys. In the complaint, Evans said, we talk about how Temu requested at least 24 permissions for all kinds of information that would not be needed for an online shopping app. According to the complaint, those permissions include access to Bluetooth and Wi-Fi network information and biometric information like your fingerprint. A second class action lawsuit filed in New York State in September of 2023 on behalf of plaintiff Eric Hughes and others accuses Temu of collecting customers' private information and not keeping it secure. Hughes versus Temu et al. Alleges defendant grossly failed to comply with security standards and allow customers' financial information to be compromised, all in an effort to save money by cutting corners on security measures that could have prevented or mitigated the breach. That complaint notes many customers reporting to the Better Business Bureau about their credit cards and bank account information being sold or leaked after using accounts on Temu. Y'all keep shopping on Temu if you want to. When I heard that they got your fingerprints, the Chinese government is creating profiles on Americans because we are China's number one enemy. Miguel Koenig from Michigan is not a member of either class action lawsuit, but he did reach out after the CBS investigators reported a Better Business Bureau warning about Temu last fall. That was in September of 2023. At the time, the Better Business Bureau said that Temu, a Chinese company, was warning shoppers about customer complaints and privacy concerns. The Better Business Bureau had received 900 complaints in the company's first 14 months of operation. Koenig said he downloaded the Temu app, created an account, and provided Temu with his bank account routing information to make his future purchases easier. Quote, so you don't have to keep putting in your debit card, he said. He bought several products for around $45. He then noticed something unusual. He produced the email he sent to Temu about the sudden unknown charges to his bank account. There were about 17 different charges totaling $2,300, he said. He said he fought those charges with his bank. Koenig also complained about a flood of emails from other places, not Temu, about credit offers. I mean, every day I get a letter saying you're approved and I never signed up for anything, he said. Attorney Jeannie Evans says these are common issues. Quote, we've talked to many members of the Temu platform and we've heard similar reports. In the class action lawsuit, Evans' firm details how they believe customer issues like those happen when shoppers download the app. Number one, never, ever give an online retailer your checking account information and a routing number to your checking account. Only use a credit card. If somebody takes your credit card, gets your credit card number or whatever, you're only responsible for a certain amount of money at most. Sometimes credit card companies will not hold you responsible at all. If it's your bank account or your debit card or your checking account, good luck. Good luck getting that money back. You don't have the same kinds of protections for your checking account, your savings account that's connected to your debit card. The only reason y'all have a checking account is just for transactions. Everything, I've told y'all this 1,000,001 times before, only use your credit card. Your credit card is somebody else's money. Your debit account, your checking account rather, your debit card, that's your money. You only have money in a checking account so you can transact to pay your bills. Everything you purchase should not only be on a credit card, it should be on a cash back credit card. But Sherwin, why? I don't want to run up my credit balance. Here's what you do, boo-boo. You go buy, let's say you got to go get you some gas because you drive a gas-powered car. You got to get you some gas. You know they can put card readers in where you slide your card to pay for the gas at the pump. They put a little card reader and now they got your credit card information. So you go get you some gas. Right? So number one, use a credit card at those because those are notorious for stealing people's information. But you go get you some gas because you hate electric cars, okay? Put $50 on your credit card. You got to go fill up the vehicle, okay? When you get home or later that day or the next day or before your credit card statement comes out, just transfer the money from your checking account to pay the gas that you just purchased on your credit card account. And you're going to get cash back and you're not going to be charged any interest. And the money that you used to gas up your car was not your money. It was the credit card company's money. You're not charged interest and assessed fees until you get your credit card statement, until your balance is actually due. that balance they're going to charge you interest on. So if you make $125 worth of purchases in a day, let's say you go shopping, you go get you some shoes, ladies get a new purse, you get a blouse, you get some sexy boots because you're going on a date with the fix-it man. Put it on your credit card, but then when you get home or the next day or before your credit card statement comes out, you use the money in your checking account, in your bank account to pay the credit card balance. Got to use your debit cards less, especially in a world that's always trying to be intrusive in our data. Once they have access to your checking account, there are stories of people getting completely cleaned out of their checking account, and the banks don't offer the same kind of protections over your checking account as a credit card company offers over the amount of credit that you're given. Credit is their money. Your checking account, like that's your cash. You got to protect it. Take a break, come back, and we're going to chat with Lisa. Ain't no telling what she going to say. Whenever I see that Lisa's on line one, and when I have my little printout right here, it says Lisa just wants to comment. So I'm giving away some tickets right now. Panthers basketball tickets. The award-winning 101.7 The Truth is the proud home of Milwaukee's Panthers basketball. The Panthers end their regular season Saturday night at home against their biggest rival, the UW Green Bay Phoenix. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. But wait, there's more. Since I am a proud UWM alum, that's interesting, I want to hook you up with 4 courtside seats to see the game live in action at the Milwaukee Panthers Arena on Saturday night. We'll take caller number 5 at 833-212-1017. Call number 5 at 833-212-1017 to win 2 pair of courtside seats to see the Milwaukee Panthers game this Saturday. They got Friday night on here. Is it Friday or Saturday now? Saturday? I ain't trying to give y'all tickets. I got to tell them what day it is, real. Be caller number, what number? 5 to win 4 courtside seats to see the Milwaukee Panthers Arena this Saturday night, I'm assuming. Call number 5 at 833-212-1017 to buy tickets to watch the Panthers basketball game. Go to Ticketmaster.com and always remember to tune in to 101.7 The Truth to hear every Panthers men's basketball game. Together we roar for the MKE. Listen, y'all got it. So it's Saturday? All right. I'm going to take a break now. 4 courtside seats to see the UW Panthers play the Green Bay Phoenix. Caller number 5. Pair of courtside seats so you can live like a baller. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
The award-winning 101.7 The Truth is thrilled to be celebrating Black History Month with you. This month will be dedicated to highlighting Black America's rich history of being pioneers and fearless leaders, as we were and always will be the driving force behind change and equality in this country. Black History Month on 101.7 The Truth is sponsored by Tayback Law, Educators Credit Union, Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin, and American Family Insurance.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
Injured at work, unable to work due to health problems, or denied VA benefits you are entitled to? Last year, Tayback Law helped return over $41 million in wrongfully denied benefits to the people in our communities. Tayback Law celebrates Black History Month by bringing its message to the truth. Their team is thrilled to see Milwaukee achieve this award-winning outlet for speaking truth to power, and Tayback Law is always ready to fight for you. Call Tayback for the payback. Visit TaybackAttorneys.com.
Business owners, it's time to elevate your banking experience with Associated Bank. Whether you're a small startup or a large enterprise, they've got you covered with 3 business checking accounts to meet your needs. With Associated Bank, you get top-notch customer service, a team of local business experts, and the exciting features you need to give your business a boost. For a limited time, open a new account today and earn up to a $750 bonus. Just deposit and maintain the required balance and watch your bonus grow. It's that simple. Visit associatedbank.com/business checking. Member FDIC.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
All right, let's see here. Who said? The City Boy says there are 50 states with 50 separate National Guard systems. Do you think these states are going to let a president stay past their elected term? We have to sound credible when we make argument. Do you think that governors would not send their National Guard to help federal troops? You think that governors in this country wouldn't be loyal to Donald Trump? Come on now. The National Guard is not equipped to go to war with the Marines. Shout out to the National Guard people, but some of them right now are just like baking cupcakes. They're not. There's a difference, okay? And I know I don't want to draw distinctions between branches of the military. I respect all of their service. You know, I love the vets. Sherwin loves the vets. I went on an honor flight. I'm forever moved by that experience. But if you think that the National Guard, how many people are even in the National Guard? We probably have, there's got to be better than 1 million servicemen and servicewomen. And what we would do is, in the event that Trump gets reelected, which right now is a crapshoot, and I don't want him to get reelected, but I don't know if I trust some of y'all to do the right thing. We would recall all of our servicemen and women from around the globe, and they all would come home. And if you think for a moment that however many National Guard reservists we have in Wisconsin, first of all, the National Guard doesn't even have the military equipment and the technology to be even reasonably competitive against the Marines, the Army, and the Air Force. Then the Coast Guard, of course, they're going to protect the coast and bomb coastal cities from the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean. Now, I'm not saying that any of this stuff is going to happen, but if Donald Trump gets reelected, you are playing with something that the end results will be a catastrophe. There's a man that is running for president because he wants to evade criminal prosecution. That's the only reason. And we're so stupid that he's telling black folks, you like me because I'm a criminal like y'all. We're like, yeah, Trump. I remember a time when we were against racism. We didn't like it. Now we're like, yeah, Trump got some felonies. Me too. I like him. Ain't that crazy? And then the people that got felonies on their record that love Donald Trump can't even vote for him. Let's talk to Lisa. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, Sherwin? Hi, Truth Nation.
Truth Nation is waving at you right now. They're all saying hello.
I know. I love them. I just so love them. But, you know, I woke up this morning feeling good, and I decided to do 3 things today.
Okay.
First, now don't get angry with me, Truth Nation. It's all because of love. I decided, because I'm black, to buy Trump's tennis shoes. Number 1. And number two, I decided to pay that $24 million for the Republican National Convention. I decided to, go ahead and take care of that for Milwaukee and Chicago. And number three, out of all things, since Trump needs that money by next week, I decided to just go ahead and give him that $450 million, because I don't want anything back now. I'm giving from the love of my heart. I'm Trump because you are who you are, not because you're a Republican or anything, or because you screw just ugly stuff, because I love you, because you're lost and you don't have it all. So I decided to go ahead on and take care of that for him, because, he's not going to be able to come up with that $452 million by next week. Before they take his real estate, I decided to just go ahead and pay that. But, of course, there's a problem. Well, it's not a problem. I just have to win that $600 million from the Powerball Mega Millions, whoever's giving that away. I have to play it if I remember to play it. And that's, it's some, I really, truly believe after they take out, I won't have that much money after they take out the taxes off that $600 million. So, dang, Trump. Yeah. Well, at least I can get your tennis shoes. I mean, I was there for you. I didn't support you, but I was going to help you with, if I win the $600 million. So that's what I wanted to get off my chest today.
Okay. Well, we're glad that you did.
Yeah.
Side note, Rhea, we got to do a better job of screening calls. Okay. No, continue, Lisa. No, once you win the lottery, you're going to pay all Trump's legal bills and you're going to buy the Trump tennis shoes.
What? Okay. After they take out $600 million, I might get $200 because I'm gonna get the full payout. So I'll just buy the tennis shoes. yeah, I'll just buy the tennis shoes because I can't afford the $452 million that he owe by next week. And then they won't give me that money that fast anyway. I'll probably have to wait several months. Got to go claim it and all that. So wait several months. So yeah, they'd take his real estate by then because Trump don't have $452 million.
I know that, and he's trying to get out of paying it, and this is why Americans need to be even more nervous, because if you have a president in debt, he is subject to blackmail. Did you know that the courts have ruled that somebody else can pay Donald Trump's debt for him? And I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden that debt is resolved, because it's going to be paid for by a nation that's going to want something from him and from us. Having a president that is in debt is the biggest national security risk we could ever hope for. Ever.
Well, the Republicans kept paying his bills all this time, so you might as well go pay that $462 million he owes and, get it over with.
It's going to be another country. Another country going to pay for it.
Well, yeah, to be Putin. Putin player. Putin. Be the Putin player. Well, I don't think, if he don't get in office, Putin not giving nothing. Putin said, no, player, you're on your own. And I think Putin done turned his back on Trump, too.
He already did turn his back on him, but Donald Trump is he's an idiot. And Vladimir Putin is probably one of the most brilliant and calculating dictators the modern world has ever seen. Donald Trump is not matched. Like, Trump is playing checkers. Vladimir Putin is playing masters-level Russian chess.
He sure is, and he used him really good. That's why he's out. Chess game over. Oh, yeah, player. He's done. So, like you said, some other nations.
But, Lisa, you don't even vote.
No, but I watch, I try to watch. I was truly addicted to CNN, and then I would turn to Fox. I would watch both of them and listen to both of them when I was on my road because it was entertaining. Oh, my goodness, it was so entertaining. Trump was saying some crazy stuff, that COVID stuff, boy, it was so funny. I said, Trump, I love you. You are so. I said, I want to have dinner with Trump.
No, you
just to hit right on. It'd have been so.
I wouldn't have dinner with
my intellect and his intellect, it wouldn't even be a debate. That's why it's funny. I've been like, you so Trump, you're hilarious. And he is.
Lisa, you take your medication today?
Yes, I did. No, no, I didn't.
Why don't you go take your medication, because I got to take a commercial break.
Because it makes me sleepy and it makes me tired.
You need to take a nap. You need to go to sleep.
I done woke up. I'm trying to eat my breakfast sandwich. I can't eat a whole sandwich, so it takes me a while to eat my sandwich. Then I take my medication. Then I go back and, because it makes me drowsy and sleepy. Then I got to fall back to sleep, and then I got to go on dialysis. This is stressful. My whole day is waking up, drinking, and eating breakfast, dialysis, going back to sleep, taking my medication. Oh, it's just a fall. Don't even go outside to enjoy the weather. Don't go. I can't enjoy the weather. Can't enjoy the weather.
What's wrong with y'all today? What's wrong with y'all?
Because we love you, Sherwin. You are a ball of giggles. Sarcastic jokes, and you be killing me. My one leg gonna kick you. Now I'm gonna punch you. Now I'm gonna whack you with my one leg when I get it. Now my doctor's appointment is coming up. And I can't wait. I can't wait to roll in or walk in there to see you, Sherwin. Yeah, I'm gonna visit you, player. But what, Sherwin? I'm here to work your nerves. Your girlfriend gonna be like, I feel sorry for you, baby. That's what she gonna say. Miss Lisa done got you. She gonna torture you. I'm gonna torture you. I'll tell your lovely girlfriend. I said, hello, thank you. Just tell her thank you. That's all. Thank you. The work that she does. Thank you.
You done?
Yeah, for today.
Okay.
Probably call back tomorrow.
All right, I bet you will.
Hey. Don't be rushing me off the phone like that until I say this. I love you, Sherwin. Love you, Truth Nation. And bye-bye.
So I want you to know that that's what it sounds like when somebody's on that stuff. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
One call, that's all. Gruber Law Offices. If you or a loved one is ever injured in an accident, you should hire a law firm with proven results who stands up for victims and takes the burden off your shoulders. Gruber Law Offices has been serving our community for over 35 years and provides the best care, service, and consulting with no fee until they win your case. Visit gruber-law.com or contact them at 414-276-6666. Make one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices.
When you join Educators Credit Union, you're not just another number or just another customer. You're a member owner. As a member owner, you can expect award-winning financial services, free financial education, and a team of people by your side helping you make informed financial decisions. Ready to join the Educators Credit Union family? Membership is open to anyone who lives or works in southeastern Wisconsin, no matter your career. Learn more at ecu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility is required.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 101.7 The Truth. Here is Telly Hughes with his truth.
Change. Change is inevitable, but it's something many of us are reluctant to embrace or accept. Is it because we think we're not keeping it real if we don't stay the same, or are we really afraid of what others may think or feel about us? There is a great deal of pressure to stay the same, even though everything around us is changing. Please believe 2024 will present its own set of challenges, and there is a good chance they won't be the same challenges as 2023. I can recall on numerous occasions throughout my career when people I knew from high school would see me and say, "You've changed," and I remember how that made me feel. Change is not a bad thing, and like it or not, change is constant. Don't mistake evolution with change because you can't have one without the other. As a matter of fact, change should be welcome if it's going to make us better. You don't have to sacrifice your authenticity because you make a few changes in your life. Before, if someone said to me, "You've changed," it would make me feel as if I sold out. But now, if someone says, "You've changed," my response is, "Thanks for noticing." Just because I look the same doesn't mean I'm the same person I've always been. So for someone to pay attention to what has changed means you're paying more attention to my actions and not my words. Change can be scary. It's the unknown that creates anxiety around change. So how do you prepare for something you know is inevitable? Not sure if this is the only answer, but I believe a good starting point would be to simply embrace it.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 101.7 The Truth. Listen to The Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The award-winning 1017 The Truth is home of Milwaukee Panthers basketball. Don't miss any of the hoops action by listening to Panthers basketball on 1017 The Truth app, and all your favorite streaming platforms. The Panthers are at home for the final time this year, and they are set to take on their conference rival, the Green Bay Phoenix, on Saturday. Coverage begins at 4:30 with a 5 p.m. tip. From Axios.com, some Republicans are openly expressing Christian nationalist views, which have ranged from calls for more religion in public schools to book bans and even suggestions that democracy should die. This once fringe ideology has become prevalent in some deeply red states at a time when the nation overall is increasingly diverse and less religious. This new data from the nonpartisan Public Religion Research Institute's American Values Atlas come days after the Alabama Supreme Court ruled that frozen embryos should receive legal protections as unborn life and cited Christianity in its reasoning. 7 out of 10 Americans say they were rejectors at 30% or skeptics, 37%, of Christian nationalism. In California, New York, Virginia, more than 75% of respondents said they were rejectors or skeptics of Christian nationalism. But in 5 deeply red states, at least 45% of respondents say they were adherents or sympathizers of Christian nationalism. North Dakota, 50%, Mississippi, 50%, Alabama, 47%, West Virginia, 47%, Louisiana, 46%. Christian nationalism is the mechanization of white supremacy. FYI, these are not the same kind of Christians that you all are. You know that. These are the kind of Christians that used to hang us with ropes by our necks until we were dead. You know those Christians? You know the Christians that would burn a cross in our front yard as a terroristic warning? That's Christian nationalism. Puts religion into context because some of y'all are worshiping the same God as them. It almost makes me wonder whose prayers get answered. Overwhelmingly, it seems like theirs are, and our prayers are getting rejected. Republicans, 55%, are more than twice as likely as independents at 25% and 3 times more likely than Democrats to hold Christian nationalist views. Majorities of 2 religious groups hold Christian nationalist beliefs: white evangelicals at 66% and Hispanic evangelicals at 55%. Both groups are strong supporters of President Trump, other polls have indicated. Christian nationalism is a set of beliefs centered around white American Christianity's dominance in most aspects of life in America. Many Christian nationalists believe the federal government should declare the U.S. a Christian nation. Many also believe U.S. laws should be based on Christian values and that God called Christians to exercise dominion over all areas of American society. Quote, it's really a claim for an ethno-religious state, and so there's nothing democratic about that worldview, says Robert P. Jones, president and founder of the PRRI, that's the research firm that did the poll. Jones and some Christian nationalists view political foes as evil or demonic rather than as fellow citizens with different opinions, and see those people as needing to be conquered. Tom Parker, Chief Justice of Alabama Supreme Court, quoted the book of Genesis, the 10 Commandments, and Christian theologians in the court's recent opinion that said embryos fertilized through in vitro fertilization should be considered children. The ruling led in vitro fertilization clinics in Alabama to be shut down and set off a scramble among lawmakers nationwide. Conservatives who support in vitro fertilization are trying to reckon with the fallout from the ruling, which was rooted in a court decision they favored the U.S. Supreme Court's rejection of abortion rights under Roe v. Wade. On a podcast after the Alabama ruling, Parker repeats the tenets of the 7 Mountains Mandate, a belief system rooted in Christian nationalism, and said U.S. law should be rooted in the Bible. The 7 Mountains Mandate urges Christians to take control of 7 areas of society: family, religion, government, education, arts and entertainment, commerce, and media. Let's talk to Linda. You're on 1017 The Truth.
Good morning, Professor Sherwin, and good morning, good Comer Brand. Good morning, all the good black and white people of Milwaukee. Truth Nation, what's happening? It's a beautiful day. This, what is it this year called? Leap year. You know, on leap year, they usually consider it like a party day where you just, because we never expected it, only comes every 4 years. That's what I was reading. But I apologize to Rhea because I did call to comment on the Christian nationalism and also just to give, tribute to Black history as well. Sometimes I get ahead of myself, so apologize for that. I wasn't just calling to contribute to Black history, but also to comment on your topics because you have been preaching today. For real. I agree with you 1,000%. These are people, these are evil people, wolves in sheep's clothing under the guise of Christianity because it's the lily white way to go. So they merge with that, and we have to have that discerning spirit to know and intellect to know the difference. It's staring us right in the face. So I don't understand why, majority of half of Americans will, worship this man because, the thing is, they would not pick Trump. They don't care about Trump no more than they care about us. It's just that because he has that power of the following, they can implement their ideology, in this. So it is a very, very pivotal time, and Mitch McConnell should have been stepped down now that he's done his dirt, so with the Supreme Courts and stuff. So I think, like you said, they're just, it's the process of, going through the Supreme Court and them, I don't know, giving him, privilege over the law. I don't know. This is going to be very, very pivotal outcome, and it's going to directly affect minorities, especially Black Americans. So it just amazes me that that we're in this day and time, intellectually as civilized people. And then I wanted to just add, as far as Black history, in honor of Black history, and to answer your question, what is Blackness? Because I've been trying to answer that all month, and it's too deep, too long, too much. So last night, what came to me was Blackness is Black history.
Oh,
because you cannot, you can't put it in a term that will substantiate. It's the whole thing. Black history is Blackness.
All right, that makes sense. Like, it's okay. Blackness is Black history, but like, who's Black history? Like ours or somebody from Eritrea or Somalia?
See,
or like who's?
Yes, but see, that's the thing, because Black history is everything. It is the element of everything, of every one of us. It is the element that expresses us. If you look deep into the corners of your culture, of your race, it started with Blackness.
So we're talking about African Americans
whether
specifically.
You're from China, whether you're from Japan, whether you're from Arab or wherever, when you look into the element of the roots of your culture, it started with Blackness.
So everybody is Black. Some people would beg to differ.
Pardon?
Some people would beg to differ, but I'll go with your definition.
True, that's because they want to deny who they are.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the lie that has tarnished everybody's perception of Blackness. Blackness is beautiful, baby. Blackness is life. Blackness is just, they're looking at the lie that has been permeated in our subconscious to view the people of Blackness as something that is demoralizing and not even human. So that's the lie. But when you cleanse yourself of that lie through knowledge and history and truth and facts, then you'll see the true beauty of Blackness.
We got to leave it there. Linda, but I appreciate
All
your
right.
very thoughtful and cerebral definition of blackness.
Thank you. I appreciate your contribution to Christian nationalism and how you're enlightening us to what's really going on politically.
I'm just
Thank you.
belching out facts. Thank you very much there, Linda. Just belching out some stuff. So since everybody is black, Linda just gave white people to call one another and us the N-word. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune in to the award-winning 101.7 The Truth's Business Spotlight this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. The Milwaukee Auto Show is here, and we will be joined by Jim Token, the president of the Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee. Jim will talk about all the new electric vehicles they will have on display and the unique experiences you can have at the auto show. So again, tune into the Business Spotlight with the Milwaukee Auto Show this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year, 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because our home policies help protect your dreams and come with peace of mind. Save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Injured at work, unable to work due to health problems, or denied VA benefits you are entitled to? Last year, Take Back Law helped return over $41 million in wrongfully denied benefits to the people in our communities. Take Back Law celebrates Black History Month by bringing its message to the truth. Their team is thrilled to see Milwaukee achieve this award-winning outlet for speaking truth to power, and Take Back Law is always ready to fight for you. Call Take Back for the payback. Visit TakeBackAttorneys.com.
Are you ready to embrace a fall-winter season in style? Visit Designs by C. Marie, your premier apparel production and custom design company. They offer a wide range of services to cater to your needs, from embroidery to full-color dye with the highest quality designs. Designs by C. Marie provides keepsakes for both business and personal use. From memorable gifts to promotional items, they've got you covered. Visit designsbycmarie.com for convenient shipping and local delivery options. Designs by C. Marie. Dress fashionably this season.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back. Donna really did text her phone number and says, I'm really looking for a handyman. If you can put it out there, please. I want my shutters up before summer. Donna, there ain't no way I'm giving your phone number out for a quote-unquote handyman to call you. Do you listen to the people that call this show, Donna? Do you want any of those people having your phone number? You do not. Donna, go on like Angie's List, the website where you can look for a whole bunch of services on there. Go to something reputable. Or call here's what you do. You want a black handyman? Go to one of the chambers. Go to the Black Chamber, the African American Chamber of Commerce. They probably have members that offer repair services of all sorts. Can't put your phone number out on the radio. Donna? Curtis says, I can't imagine if Trump owed child support, how we'd carry him through the streets on our shoulders. It's just ridiculous, Sherwin. LT says, I might be the only black guy at the Price is Right traveling show tonight. Wait, what? Oh, that's right. The Price is Right coming to Milwaukee. The caller says, great take by the sister, Professor Hughes. If you aren't black, you're subhuman, Neanderthal, or some other lower form of primate or alien. What else we got here? Is it because it's leap day where people are weird? Is it a full moon? What's going on with the moon? Some needs to explain something.
The full moon was on the 24th.
I should go back and listen to that show. It probably would be obvious.
That was a weekend.
Mrs. P. Cornelius says she ordered a skillet and never got it. That's the text message. It was a skillet I ordered as well. I never got it. Mrs. P. Cornelius then says, tell her look up Terrell Sanders on Facebook. Is there anything that makes sense? JD says, Lisa coming after you like the lady missing a leg and I'm going to get you, sucker. Lisa would be very easy to outrun. She's probably going to be off balance, too. Just tip her over, just push her on her forehead. She'd just fall over. Somebody said something about the Electoral College. I can't find it. I want to read it. They said they're not surprised. I'm going to paraphrase it. I want to find it, though. They're not surprised that Donald Trump will get reelected because the Electoral College. Oh, here it is, right here. Hey, Sherwin, why be surprised? This is from Andrew. Hey, Sherwin, why be surprised to think Trump will win when the popular vote does not actually count? The Electoral College may have already made up their mind. Andrew, I don't really know how to take your question because I will be like deeply saddened if you are unaware of how we elect U.S. presidents. I'm going to assume, Andrew, you're being a bit facetious. The popular vote in states is counted, and there will be an advantage of one candidate or another in our two-party system. Either the Democrat is going to get the majority of the popular vote in a state or the Republican. If the Democrat gets the majority of the popular vote in that state, then the Electoral College for the Democrats will be activated. The Electoral College is not just like a group of people just kicking it, getting drunk. They're activated when the Democratic or Republican candidate wins the popular vote in that state. Then the Electoral College members who are selected by the respective parties then cast their ballots. Wisconsin has 10 members of the Electoral College. If Donald Trump wins the state of Wisconsin, which he has before, then the Republican electors are activated. They are the ones that cast their ballots on behalf of the people that voted in the popular vote in the state of Wisconsin for the Republican. What happened on January 6th, that those were electoral ballots that were counting that the January 6th rioters tried to interrupt. The popular vote determines which party's Electoral College will be activated. Okay, we have that. Thank you for calling. Some of you I don't thank for calling. To the rest of you, have a great day. I'll see you next time.
This Saturday, it's the final regular season game at the UW Milwaukee Panthers